Just needed a reboot. That's terrible. What a terrible way to start the show. I'm sorry about that. I had a reboot.
You don't even know who I am.
I don't know what happened there. I had to reboot the board. So we're going to start over because you missed all the good stuff. I apologize. I totally screwed up. I got to start over now. I got to start. Oh my goodness.
Is that a yes or a no? Maybe?
Something happened with my board. I don't know what happened, but my board failed.
I'd like to be able to come in there.
I had to reboot my board.
So yeah.
So there's a great way to start the show.
Access, and we're trying to get access here for this. And,
what a great way to start the show. Point and laugh at Lefty. I got a big show lined up, and look, I got no sound. Yeah, I knew I had no sound. I couldn't get it to work. I didn't want to reboot the show yet. So hold on. Hold on.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Watch this.
Hey, you guys got a wheelchair ramp? No? I can't get in there?
You can't rent a vehicle.
I can't rent a vehicle?
No.
Why?
Because you're in a wheelchair.
I'm not allowed to rent a vehicle in a wheelchair?
I don't have wheelchair accessible vehicles.
I need a vehicle. I am recording you. But you're saying you have no vehicles for people in you don't sell vehicles to people in wheelchairs? Is that what you're saying? You don't rent a vehicle to people in wheelchairs. You don't rent a vehicle. You don't rent vehicle. Rent a vehicle. Rent. Do you understand the word rent? I want to rent a video. I want to rent a vehicle. I want to rent a vehicle from you. I would like to rent from you. I would like to rent from you. I would like to rent from you. I'm calling the police. I'm calling the police. I'm calling the police now. You just assaulted me. You just assaulted me. You just assaulted me. You assaulted me. You just assaulted me. I hurt my leg. You hurt my leg. My leg is stuck. I'm having a spasm.
My fucking leg on your door.
I'm having a spasm right now. I'm having a spasm.
Yeah.
I'm having a spasm. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. End it.
Move your foot on
End
my
it.
door.
Go ahead. End it. End my
I thought you were in a
spasm.
wheelchair.
End my spasm.
I thought you were in a
End my
wheelchair.
spasm.
I thought you were in a wheelchair.
Customer service. U-Haul customer service. What's your name?
Okay.
U-Haul customer service. U-Haul customer service.
Get the fuck out of my face.
Why don't you rent me something? I am. No, I'm trying to get in. I'm trying to get in, but I can't get in.
I'm not renting to you anyway, so that'll make a difference.
Call the cops. Call the cops, please. Please call the cops. I was just assaulted by him, and now you're going to get a ramp because I'm going to take you to court. I'm going to take you to court, and now you're going to get a ramp. Now you're going to get a ramp. Who's going to win now? Now you're getting a ramp. Now you got to get a ramp.
Now you gotta get a ramp. Now you gotta get a ramp. Cause I'm gonna take you to court. I'm gonna take you to court.
No, call the cops. I would like you to call the cops, please. Can you call the cops? Thank you. Hey! Your wheelchair access really blows. Hey!
Ho
Your wheelchair access really blows.
Hey! Ho ho!
That ugly step has got to go.
Hey! Ho ho!
That ugly step has got to go.
Hey! Ho ho!
That ugly step has got to go.
Hey!
U-Haul. That ugly step has got to go. Hey! U-Haul. That ugly step has got to go. Hey! Ho ho! That ugly step has got to go. Hey! Ho ho! That ugly step has got to go. Hey!
We have to talk about this.
That ugly step has got to go. Hey! Ho ho!
I struggle with
That
this.
ugly step has got to go. Hey! Ho ho!
I struggle.
That ugly step has got to go. Hey!
Let me just explain something to you. I was triggered.
Your wheelchair access really blows. Hey!
I'll talk about it in a minute.
Your wheelchair
Just watch
access
this.
really blows. Hey! Ho ho! You dance like a big mo. Hey! Ho ho! You dance like you don't know how to go. Hey! Ho ho! You're gonna have to get a wheelchair ramp, you know. Hey! Ho ho!
You think I want to go and yell at people all day? No, I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be that guy.
A worker assaulting a man in a wheelchair.
I shouldn't have to be out on Broadway yelling at people.
Yourself.
This is not fun for me.
Beat your dog with that hand?
It's not fun for me getting yelled at and hit, assaulted, smacked, all this stuff that's happening to me. It's so much. Well, it's not easier to make wheelchair ramps. We tried that.
Hey! Ho ho! You don't know how to understand, so please don't do it anymore.
We tried.
Hey, ho, ho.
We tried making wheelchair ramps, and we got some really nice donations, but the problem was the donations were for these little kits, and these kits don't have exactly what we need to make ramps. We need bricks, we need flats, and we can make ramps. So we don't have the ability to make ramps yet. I have some ramps partially made, but this is my struggle, because when he said to me, we don't rent to people in wheelchairs, or whatever he said, I was triggered. That was enough right there. I was triggered. And I know it's easy to say, I'll stay calm. When someone says that to me, and they start getting in, I struggle with that. I do. And even when I pray about it beforehand, I still struggle with it. I don't want to be the guy yelling on the street at people. I want to be nice and get ramps nicely and maybe make ramps for people, but we don't have the resources or the money or the funds. So basically, it's much easier and simpler for me to just go out there and get smacked in the face or twisted my arm or hit or assaulted in some way, have a door slammed on me. Because I'm goal-orientated, and that's a wheelchair ramp. We got another ramp. But it's not the way I want to get ramps. How'd you get a wheelchair ramp? How'd you get that wheelchair ramp? I got beat up. And I went to court. How'd you get that wheelchair ramp? How'd you get that wheelchair ramp? I got beat up. And then I went to court. Yeah, so we'll drop the charges if he puts a ramp in. I might even put a couple of bucks into this one. I feel bad about this one. I don't know why. I think he's a nice guy. I have a feeling he's got good dance moves. So, right there, I want to smoke a joint with him. I want to smoke a joint with that guy. I really do. Smoke him if you got him. Roll him if you don't. It's blunt time. It's Thursday night. It's time for the blunts. We have a huge show lined up for you today. We have best-selling author Warren Bobrow, Chris Goldstein, Jim Miller, Anne Zito, Tommy Lyons. We'll try to call the weed man if he's around. Call the Chris and Chris. Call Chris Almada and Chris Chin. And if you got a blunt, you better light it up. If you got a blunt, you better light it up. If you got a blunt, you better light it up right now. If you got a blunt, light it up. It's Thursday night, boys and girls. You have nothing better to do? Let's do some activism. Let's figure out how we can make this a better world. And think globally, act locally. I never thought I'd be advocating for what I'm advocating for in my life. Because now I'm out here fighting for wheelchair access. I never thought it'd be a thing. But it is. Wheelchair access. It's a thing. We need wheelchair access. We need wheelchair ramps. Access. We need it. Good evening, it's Thursday night, it's time to smoke a big fat blonde with me on this Zito Cross Ignorance is No Excuse podcast. Hit it! Light it, hit it, smoke it, cough it, repeat. Light it, smoke it, toke it, cough it, repeat. A week, man. I didn't expect to get assaulted. Oh. And by the way, there's no friggin' wheelchair access at the post office again. That's what started this whole thing. Somebody on Bayonne Talks called me a liar. And those are fighting words. Called me a liar. They called me a liar. They said, oh, the wheel... They said, oh,
the wheelchair access at the post office is fine. I just used it, and it's fine. That El Rapador's an idiot. The wheelchair access is fine. Go try it again. I hit the button. You gotta hold the button. You're doing it wrong, El Rapador. You gotta hold the button down. You gotta hold it with your hand. You can't just hit the button. You gotta hold it with your hand, El Rapador. You idiot.
So I went to the post office as El Rapador on my scooter and my mask. And sure enough, I was not lying. I was not lying about that wheelchair access. Give me a name to make up for these people that make fun of me. Sweetie, come back. I'm going to put you on camera. I'm going to put you on camera. I'm going to put you on camera. See, I get weird looks because you can't hear the... It sounds different out there. Wait till you hear what happened to me. So I go to the post office because Bayonne Talks moderator says I'm a liar. Well, guess who's the liar? Why would I lie about the post office not having wheelchair access? This is the second year they don't have it. The second year. Last year, they didn't have wheelchair access for 4 months, from August to November. You act like I'm trying to pick on the post office. No, I want it to work. I want it to be accessible. And then this week, I also found out the Bayonne police station has an access issue. It's never ending. The council president, Sharon, come up to me and she says, a couple weeks ago before the meeting, she says, you may not like the wheelchair access at the municipal center. I said, really? Why? She goes, well, it may not be wide enough and the hallway is kind of built in and you can't access the buttons. I said, I'll check it out. And I checked it out. It was fine. I mean, the buttons didn't work, but you can get in the building and there was no problems. I didn't go deep enough. When you go to the police station in Bayonne in the wheelchair, you have to go through the building, or you can wait outside in a 95-degree heat or rain or snow or whatever's going on outside, or they can let you in the wheelchair with your illness, because people in wheelchairs have illnesses, so you don't want them waiting out in the sun while able-bodied people can go into the police station. People in wheelchairs have to wait out in the sun. No, you're doing it wrong. So therefore, we have to go through the building in a wheelchair and then go out to the side of the building and then up the elevator. It's very strange. And the problem is, because of COVID, the building's locked. So those doors, when you leave that door of the building to go into the police station elevator, the door locks behind you. So you're basically a fire hazard at that moment. You're a fire hazard. That moment that door locks behind you to go to the police station elevator, the person in the wheelchair is a fire hazard. So now we have to go to the council meeting and talk about that, because I didn't realize that was a problem, and throughout COVID. That was a problem throughout COVID. So the police don't have the resources to do their jobs. One of the resources the police need to do their jobs is to allow people to come in to the police station. So the government needs to step up and fix that issue so police can help people in wheelchairs. People in wheelchairs should not have to wait outside 95-degree heat while able-bodied people can go in and out as they please. This is not access. That is not access. And that's why we do this. I never thought this would be such a big issue and how it's growing. But police stations, libraries, more police stations, more libraries, pharmacies, doctor's office, and other police stations, libraries, doctor's offices, churches. I've seen it all, especially dentists. Dentists are bad. Florists are bad. Barbers, nail places, massage. You name it. You in the coffee shops. Mrs. Fields. Mrs. Fields should never have happened. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Hi, Hugh. Good job, Hugh. Are you at a council meeting tonight? The Puffco. Oh, if you want to win a Puffco, give me a call. I will put the number up here. Give me a call. Yeah, Seth, it's I struggle with my anger. That's why I go to church. People say, oh, Lefty, you go to church because you're some religious nut job. You're some holier than thou freak, judgmental jerk off. You hate this group of people. No, I'm the most liberal Christian you'll ever know and then meet. And I go to church because I'm angry. I'm an angry MFer. I am. And I'd probably be in jail if I didn't go to church. Because I'd probably punch somebody. So I have issues with my anger. And I'm struggling with that. And I need to do better. I don't want to represent myself like this. Like the guy yelling on the street. I don't want to be the guy yelling on the street. It's bad enough you got one person on the street yelling, and then you got two. Like, I don't want to be that guy. I want to be the nice. Just get a ramp. Please just get a ramp. I don't know how else to do this. I mean, we're going to get a ramp from this one. But it's ugly. It's winning ugly. It's playing dirty. That's what it is. I'm playing dirty, and it's ugly. Ugly winning. It's winning, but at what cost? It's ugly winning. Is that really how I want to represent myself, as an ugly winner? No. No, that's why last year I tried to make ramps, and I tried to build ramps, and that's a bigger project than I expected and thought, and I didn't know what I was doing, and I made a huge ramp that was way too heavy, and then I had to take it apart, and I couldn't because it's all glued together, so I screwed up. I wasted a bunch of Legos already. I started another ramp. It's hard when you're starting out. You don't know what you're doing, and you have no resources to get what you need. So we'll try again with the making ramps. I'm going to give this guy some money towards his ramp. I don't know what else to do. I mean, yeah, we'll get ramps all day long by getting assaulted. I'm sure I can get assaulted again, but I don't know. This is not how I want to do it. You know, I'm supposed to be a Christian boy. I'm supposed to be nice and peaceful. And I don't feel peaceful. When you say to me, we don't rent to people in wheelchairs, boom. You just hit a switch in me. You turned a switch in me. It's like, you know, injustice. And you know, one of the things about the Bible is it's all about social justice. The Bible, as much as you want to talk crap about it, there's a lot of social justice in that Bible. And I'm all about that. I like that a lot. That's what we need in this world, social justice. And this is part of it. This is social justice, but I need to make my approach differently. I need to approach things differently. I really do. So the Puffco, by the way, sorry, cutting off topic. Let me put my phone number up. If you want the Puffco, hold on, I'll put the number up here. I should have put a thing up here. All right. Hold on. Here, while I'm doing this, you watch this. You watch this little thing about what happened to me in Bayonne a couple days before this. This is crazy. It never ends in Bayonne. Listen, look at this one. Look at this. This is a good one. Oh, my God.
Really, dude? Right in front of a cop. Really? Really? Another one? Thank you. Really? Right in front of a cop. Right in front of the cop. Yo, you gonna stop for me? Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Huge favor.
Yeah.
Gave somebody a ticket.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I did.
I'm done. I'm done for the day.
Recorded on my body camera now. Good afternoon. Bayonne Police, how are you? The reason why I'm stopping you for doing 46 miles an hour and 25, and also back up on 49th Street and Avenue C. There was a gentleman in a wheelchair who was crossing through the crosswalk.
Yeah, I passed him.
And you passed him, but you never stopped for him. There's a stop sign there that says yield for pedestrians. You never stopped for him.
I'm sorry, officer.
All right, let me see your paperwork, please. Miss King,
Yeah. Say what?
somebody in a wheelchair? You couldn't stop. I mean, you got tinted windows. I would kind of be remiss if that gentleman signed a complaint against me for not stopping you and giving you a ticket.
Officer, I apologize. I was eating, and he was on that side of the street, and I knew once I passed him, he would still be able to go. I didn't see the yield for.
There was two stop for you on each side of the intersection.
Yes, and I'll definitely take accountability for that.
But that's what's going to happen. I just want to let you know, that intersection, all right, specifically, there's a reason why there's two signs there, okay? A lot of people have been almost killed crossing that intersection. It's getting to be a very busy one. That's why we put the two signs up. And unfortunately, that individual uses that intersection like his personal driveway.
Wait, did you hear me?
That's why we put the two signs up. And unfortunately, that individual uses that intersection like his personal driveway.
Yes, and I have the right to my driveway. Stay out of my driveway. Get off my lawn!
Hello? Hello? Bayonne police. Hello? Hello? There's a man in a wheelchair. He's in the street, in the middle of the street. I almost hit him. Can you please go and arrest him, please? Thank you. Roger. Clancy, see about a man in a wheelchair. Clancy. Roger. Roger, wheelchair. Roger. Roger, crosswalk.
Wow.
That's why we put the two signs up. And unfortunately, that individual uses that intersection like his personal driveway. So,
I've seen him before, and I've paid no attention to him before. I'm still ignored him. I almost hit him this time. 2 points. 2 points for the wheelchair.
Trying to educate the public, but apparently it doesn't work.
Well, honestly, I drive here. I was on my way to the gym. I drive here about 4 times a week. I really was eating, so that was on my...
That's no problem.
Really, dude? Right in front of a cop.
Wow.
Hello, Bayonne police.
There's a guy in a wheelchair. He's in the street. He's in the crosswalk. I tried to go around him, but the idiot's in the street. They're trying to walk. What is he doing?
Roger. Roger, Clancy. See a man about a wheelchair. 49th and Avenue B. Roger. Roger, Clancy. Roger.
Wow. Shocking. This has been a very busy week in activism. For me anyway. I didn't expect this kind of week, so then I go to the post office. I should have played that video for you too. That's at the beginning of this one. It just never ends at the post office. They called me a liar. Don't call me a liar. I'm lying about the disabled access not working. Why in a million years would I lie about the post office not working when it didn't work last year for 4 months? I go back there to test it and it didn't work. So why would I? What's the point? 2 people already told me there's tickets in. So the mods at Bayonne Talks, apparently I went to their stores. One of them is a shop owner, I guess, or a friend of a store owner, and they're not happy with me going in there with my camera in their face. They don't like it. So they try to deny everything that I say, and they're haters, and they just hate on. They call me a liar. So then I go there and prove the wrong, and then they make up another lie. And they just go, this is what liars do. I've seen a lot of it, and I'm kind of sick of all these people lying on me, man. So I went to prove that I'm not a liar. And sure enough, the post office didn't work. So get it fixed. This is your tax money. Your tax money being wasted. More people should be up in arms about this and not sticking up for these government entities. Are you kidding me? These... Uh-oh. What'd I do? Oh, hey. Chucky, you're in the raffle. If you're in the book, you're in the raffle. Here, this is the book that I have here. And this is if you're in this book, you're in the raffle. Here, I'll read the names off. So far, in the raffle, we have Chucky. Chucky, you're number 1. So, Chuck, relax. You're number 1. You're in there, buddy. You're in there. But you can still listen. The Puffco raffle will be at the State House. But you can join in now by calling up, and we'll sign you in. We got Jesus. Jesus Suarez, Jolene, Susan, Seth, Clayton, Corey, Matt, Manny, Lester, Joseph, Jim Miller. So that's who we have so far in the free Puffco Peak raffle. If you'd like to be in the raffle, just give a call. The number's on the screen. Give a call. We'll put you in the raffle. You can only be in the raffle here on the show. Is the only time to call in for the raffle. So it'll be Thursdays. You can call in or show up at the State House on the 22nd when we're actually giving it away. And you can win it, and we'll put some dabs in there for you. All right, so we have some phone calls to make. Let me make my first one here. Uh-oh. What happened? It sent me a message. Uh-oh. Maybe we'll make this call now. All right, let's do this one. We have a great lineup tonight of information for you. This is great. We have Joanne Zito, a fountain of information. Jim Miller, Chris Goldstein, Warren Bobrow. Are you kidding me? We'll probably call Tommy Lyons, and we're going to call the Weed Man. We'll just call the Weed Man randomly. So, not many shows just have like this kind of. Okay, here we go. Let's see if this works. If my phones don't work, I have to redo this. Hold on. Chris? Hold on. Chris, are you there? My phone might be working. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you sound clear now. Are you hearing me?
Yeah, hold on. Let me check one more time. Hold on. Can you hear me now? No, it's not going to work. All right, hold on. I got to do it old school. Okay.
You're putting me on speakerphone, aren't you?
This is the worst. Oh, dying.
Are you putting me on speakerphone?
I'm dying over
here.
here.
Is that what's happening?
I'm dying over here.
Did you guys get hit by a tornado or something?
I do have a tree branch fall in Bayonne, but yeah. How you doing?
That sounds like a novel. A tree branch fell in Bayonne. That sounds like, like a tree grew in Brooklyn. You know what I mean? A tree grows in Brooklyn.
Well, they destroy the trees in Bayonne with these wires, and they just cut the trees and make them all like awful V's, and then they all get weak and rotted and they fall apart, and I'm pissed.
I think you should start using the high tension power lines as wheelchair access. And you can just, hook a thing on the wheelchair and scoot yourself right across the street. That would be really cool.
They need to figure this out, man. They
Wheelchair cable cars. That's what we need to start working on in the future, man.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, so what's going on, man?
Well, I got assaulted this week. The Bayonne Post Office has no wheelchair access, and the Bayonne Police Department has a wheelchair access that makes you a fire hazard.
Well, that means they can't arrest anybody in wheelchairs, right? If they have no wheelchair access, they can't actually arrest anybody in a wheelchair.
Well, you can't get out. You can get in, but you can't get out. It's really weird.
That's really impressive. And they don't have any wheelchair access at the fire department?
No, the police station, you can get in, but you can't get out. And the post office. The post office is broken again.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Well, maybe they can. Don't they have like a ramp for those little scooters that they let the mailmen wheel around? You know how they like going around the city and they put the mail bags on a little one-handed scooter thing. They gotta have a ramp for those, don't they?
Yeah, in the back, the loading dock, and they said I can't go in that way. That's not accessible to me, apparently.
You're not allowed to load yourself with the mail. I guess that would. I have a buddy named Box Brown who takes that name from. There was the original Box Brown was a man who mailed himself out of slavery to Philadelphia in a box, and that's how he got out of the South. He mailed himself out of the South.
I love Box Brown. He's a great artist.
You know what you should do is mail yourself to the Bayonne post office to a P.O. box, and then that's the wheelchair access. They'd have to load you in through the back that way, right?
You know, last year it took 4 months. 4 months to fix it last year when it broke.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it took them 4 months to deliver you the last time you mailed yourself to the Bayonne post office.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Well, so are you guys gearing up for the next CRC meeting?
I'm so excited. I'm yawning.
And January 8th, the Camden Ad Hoc Committee on Real Estate for Marijuana Businesses is forming up. So the Camden Ad Hoc Committee gets underway January 8th. You can join that via Zoom, by the way.
Yeah, I like these Zoom meetings. They're good for the disabled.
That's the disabled and the laptop activists.
That's right. Hey, you know what, Chris? Listen to this. Bayonne has all these wheelchair problems. Now they're taking a wheelchair tax. That wheelchair tax, that 2%, that's a tax on cancer, a tax on wheelchairs. We want representation for that taxation, and I want wheelchair access in Bayonne.
Did you say wheelchair tax?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
The cannabis tax. That's a tax on wheelchairs. It's a tax on cancer.
The cannabis tax. Oh, you want Bayonne to get wheelchair impact zone money.
Yes.
I got it. Because the wheelchair ramps were removed by the police to accommodate the drug war. I understand. They probably did. Police probably went around and removed ramps just to accommodate DEA raids on marijuana gardens at some point, I'm sure. But I don't know. Getting the taxes from the marijuana taxes is already happening. I believe Senator Ruiz and Senator Singleton had a bill passed that would allocate some of the cannabis taxes to certain education funds already. So there's a piece of it that's gone. Savvy legislators, that's kind of like the whole point of the tax game. It's familiar territory to the state and municipal governments. They play appropriations games every year. This is their bread and butter. So we just threw them it's sort of like throwing bait in the water to a bunch of fish. They're just running up, trying to get as much of it as they can.
And what do they do with this money? I don't understand how they get their hands on it. Why do they want it so bad?
Okay, so Lefty, here's the real problem. All right, so, what New Jersey did was promise towns that they would get a big chunk of the cannabis sales taxes if they were impact zones, especially. The problem with that is that no state has actually reached their tax revenue projections in the first couple of years. It takes 5 or 6 years to really reach the goals, the lofty, optimistic tax revenue goals that people talk about when they pass these bills. So the reality for California was that they missed the mark on tax revenue really far. And that's because producers went out on opening day with $60 eighths with a 35% tax. Nobody could afford it, even in Beverly Hills. So consumers didn't buy legal marijuana, thus there weren't as much taxes as people projected. This is where I feel like the impact zone cities, Camden and places like that, cities that really have been adversely affected by prohibition, they've been dealt a real shell game here. We're promising these cities impact zone taxes, but the reality is that's going to be way, way down the road compared to the immediate business taxes and sales taxes that you can get from having a business in town. So, Camden is sort of a good example. They've put pumped the brakes on allowing businesses, not an outright ban, but a temporary one. Formed this ad hoc committee to put in who they think are the correct businesses for cannabis in their town, which is reasonable in a lot of ways. But, I'm not sure that any process for zoning and business in any city is completely free of corruption. The real estate deals and the money that's made in all of this activity is something everybody wants a piece of. And that includes, city councilors and such like that, and the people around city councilors. like their families. So, this is, I think, going to be real interesting how it plays out. We've promised cities impact zone fees from taxes, but the only way to really realize this tax revenue is through huge volumes of sales. And I think all of us consumers probably know that the only way to get us to buy it is to offer it at a really awesome price. Okay, we shop by price. You give us an ounce of weed for $100, lab tested, high quality, it'll fly out the door all dang day. But if that ounce costs $400, people just won't buy it, and the tax revenue will not materialize. And those impact zone cities will be left with the fuzzy end of the lollipop, man.
Maybe they want that.
I think that in some cases, it was on purpose. I think that promising the towns the impact zone fees, it was a cynical move by some legislators who might know that it won't be realized until a decade down the road, not just a few years. And, leaving these cities waiting and waiting and waiting. And let's be clear, while we're trying to send money back to communities affected by the drug war is still freaking happening in most of them, really hardcore. It's not like the drug war stopped in Camden, when we legalized marijuana. It's not like the drug war is completely stopped in Newark. So should those police departments somehow benefit from cannabis taxes by us giving impact zone fees to city councils? That's another question we got to work out. I would hate to think that if I bought a legal ounce of weed, that the tax money went to a police department. That's not how I want it to work out. And I don't think that we've really figured out how to make sure that doesn't happen.
Well,
By the way, part of the ad hoc committee in Camden is our 2 representatives from the police department. So, I understand that everybody's trying to make a good faith effort, but, when we legalize marijuana, we really don't need the police to help us regulate it afterwards. That's just my opinion.
we need them to enforce the non-taxed cannabis.
Again, we decriminalized marijuana. There really isn't a whole lot of, search and seizures removed, that kind of personal activity, even when it comes to low-level sales. That's covered under decrim as well. Police really need to retrain for a new role here overall. But that's kind of the point. Marijuana reform is part of police reform. And part of what we're experiencing this year is that we've ordered the police to stop arrests. We've given clear rules and guidelines to stop search and seizure. So I hope we don't see an uptick of any of that activity as legal sales start. That's for sure. But hey, look what happened in Pennsylvania. I was asking you this earlier this week. How do you feel about remediating moldy cannabis flower into new medical cannabis products through extraction?
Come on, that's fake news. Nobody would do that.
Pennsylvania did it. They actually passed a law saying it's okay, and Governor Wolf signed it. There it is.
Wow.
Now, they're going to have to put a label on it that says it's remediated. But, are you going to buy remediated product? Maybe, I guess, if you're really hard up. You know what I mean?
How much mold is in the remediated product?
Well, there's supposed to be none. That's the whole point. Yeah, or at least
Really?
it's supposed to test negative. And this gets, maybe you heard about the Subway, remember when the New York Times was testing the Subway sandwiches and couldn't find any tuna DNA?
Oh.
Did you hear about that?
Oh, yeah.
Well, they couldn't find any tuna DNA, not necessarily because they didn't have any tuna, but because the tuna was so processed, they couldn't actually identify it through DNA anymore. And that's kind of like what's happening to cannabis products. If they take moldy flower and then they process it enough, you can't even detect the mold anymore, even if it's really there. So that's kind of like another shell game that's being played on patients there. And it's not just in Pennsylvania. The industry sold this to Pennsylvania legislators because they said that they're allowed to do it in other states, which they are. New Jersey isn't one of them, by the way. But the industry does get away with this in other states, and now they're going to get away with it in Pennsylvania.
Wow. Yeah, Curaleaf, I guess, huh? Wow.
Well, we'll see. Again, the extracts and the whole game, whether it's vape pen cartridges, topicals, or wax and shatter. I think the further the plant gets processed, the further you are away from knowing actually what's in it.
What is this, Charlene? What does that mean? Blocked. Supporting normal racists. What does that mean?
Oh, that's okay. Charlana's just trolling me. Let her troll me. She knows I don't use Facebook or anything, but if she wants to call in, she does have my number, and I did text her. And if she wants to troll me in person, she's welcome to. But if she wants to troll you guys, she's welcome to troll you guys too.
Uh-oh. What happened to my video? Am I is she blocking me? Oh, geez. What does that mean? So what's the deal with you guys? What happened? Why is she mad?
I don't know. Actually, I'm not sure why I'm being trolled by this individual right now. But last week somebody said that she was also trolling me on some other platform where I can't see her. I don't ever blocked her on anything, but again, she can contact me directly if she wants. I don't know.
Hope she's not blocking me.
Sort of like you, I talked to her as an activist when she was more active in New Jersey and helped her write some press releases and some testimony for the legislature and stuff like that. But that's about my level of interaction. I'm not sure why I'm being trolled, but there it is.
Supporting normal racists. I don't know who's racist. I don't get that. I don't.
I'm not sure either.
Who? What? Wow.
It's okay. It's okay. It's a who what scenario. Again, if people want to engage directly, I'm kind of one of those annoying Quaker activists who's relatively open and accessible. So, but yeah, the stuff that happened in Pennsylvania this week was kind of telling. HB 1024 was the bill, and it was like the biggest update of Pennsylvania's medical marijuana program since they put it in place. But they didn't take any testimony from patients or caregivers when they passed this bill. And it passed through Harrisburg like grease lightning with bipartisan support. I think there was only like 5 or 6 votes against it. Nothing passes like that in Harrisburg anymore. So I think that what happened over there in Pennsylvania was a good indicator of how wrapped around their finger the corporate lobbyists in the cannabis industry have legislators in Harrisburg, in both parties. It doesn't matter if it's Republicans or Democrats. The industry has them. They've got their number. If they're going to push through a bill that allows mold remediation through extraction. Oh, the other thing that they're going to allow in Pennsylvania is that the dispensaries can register as caregivers and then become caregivers for patients. And they're going to be legally called a person in order to accommodate this.
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
It's like Citizens United for medical marijuana dispensaries. It's like the worst of all worlds, really. And I'm not sure how that's going to play out in the long term. I mean, are dispensaries going to charge a service fee for becoming patients' caregivers just to deliver it to their houses, which is going to, of course, make things more expensive? I don't know. But that was another weird thing that happened. Most states, this is what happened during the pandemic, which was that both New Jersey and Pennsylvania gave the dispensaries broad latitude to accommodate delivery and curbside pickup. And most of them actually didn't do anything about that at all. They just had everybody walk into the lobby anyway. I remember at the height of the pandemic seeing patients wait in line at Curaleaf in like a parking lot of 60 people. So, but in Pennsylvania, this bill was to make curbside pickup and delivery permanent. And in order to accommodate delivery, Pennsylvania dispensaries were having their employees register as caregivers. And then patients would appoint one of these employees as their caregiver, and that employee could then deliver the marijuana to their front door. So the industry went to the legislators and they said, hey, this sounds like a great idea. Let's make it permanent. Let's make it so that dispensaries can register as caregivers. This will be great. But that really flips the script on what a caregiver for medical cannabis really does and what it means and what it's meant for decades now under state programs. Caregivers really offer care and comfort, and they're often family members, and they don't charge fees, So this could really change the nature of what that all means in Pennsylvania, for the worse, in my opinion. But so I think that's telling, though, because these are the same companies that operate in New Jersey, Lefty. You know, the lobbyists and the companies that operate in Pennsylvania are the same ones in New Jersey, or the same ones in Illinois, or the same ones in New York. These are the multi-state operators. But they got every single thing that they wanted in Pennsylvania. And again, that's a very, very telling moment here for how effective this corporate lobbying has been.
Man, that's Jersey Joe says waiting 5 hours in your car and then to stand in line. Wow.
Oh yeah, that's what was happening during the pandemic. He's right. You know, it's weird too because during the pandemic they were given they were allowed to write their own rules for how they could pull this off. You know, again, in Maine, there was a big debate on how delivery could get pulled off. They wanted cameras and 2 employees in every car and cameras on the car. It was like that show where they do a quiz show in a taxi. But, like, seriously, one employee had the original rules in Maine, which just got shot down, thank God. But they were going to have the delivery services had to have, like, a van with 4 cameras streaming. I think, and I'm not kidding about this, I think the city of Portland requires that one of the cameras be streaming to the police department. So, like, I mean, the Portland police are going to hire a police officer to sit there and watch marijuana deliveries take place on a video camera all day. That's amazing, right? Taxpayers might get a better deal if the Portland police would simply perform the deliveries. You know what I mean?
Yeah, let's cut the middleman out.
Really, kind of, would that not be police reform right there? Look, we have a new assignment for you, police force. It's called delivering medical cannabis. We need you to put your guns down, take the whole stun gun thing off, put on a nice little green hat.
Escort. It's called escorting.
Yeah. I think they should be trained to sing, too. It should be like a singing telegram delivery. You know what I mean?
I think they will be singing anyway. They'd be very happy to do that.
Yeah, singing all the way to their union about a new contract.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it really is kind of a wild world. Like, let's not forget, today, Connecticut and Virginia both had their legalization laws go into place. So you can grow marijuana in Virginia right now. And Adam Eidinger at Virginia Marijuana Justice and DCMJ, he's the guy that helped pass the ballot initiative in Washington, D.C. years ago. They gave away like 20,000 marijuana seats today in Virginia.
Nice.
Yeah, they had a big seat share.
Yes.
So big congrats to those guys. And a big congrats to, there was a lot of people at the Virginia Normal Chapter who were involved with this. But, again, Virginia, Illinois, New York, New Jersey, these states made too generous a deal with the corporate cannabis operators. They really did. With all the progress that's happening this year. And, again, it can't be missed that all these states stopped arrests. New Jersey stopped arrests. New York, Connecticut, New Mexico. All these states stopped arrests. That's amazing, right? That's truly amazing. It's the biggest moment in marijuana reform has been 2021. So, but also there are some states that missed. Delaware missed out. They had a vote scheduled in early June that got canceled on like pretty much hours before it was going to take place. And that was the result of police lobbying, industry lobbying, and then Governor John Carney, who is like a mini-me for Joe Biden. And he came out saying he just didn't like legalization. And that was like a poison pill. So Delaware missed out this year. And they can't try again until January of 2022. So, there's a lot happening regionally. New York and New Jersey are sort of in the same limbo boat right now. The Attorney General, who's moving to the Securities and Exchange Commission, is trying, the Attorney General's office is now trying to tamp down on delivery services and things like that. I'm surprised that we're not seeing more clubs. I'm surprised we're not seeing more like social parties, vending parties, stuff like that. But I think that's going to be what's going to happen over the summer.
Well, we're doing one. We got one coming up. Bake on the Lake.
No, gotcha. I gotcha. You guys are like, I'm here in South Jersey, so like anywhere up there, any lake in North Jersey is like 9 hours away. So,
Just an hour.
Anytime I have to spend more than $3 on the Garden State Parkway, I know I have to go far.
Yeah, true. Hey, listen, they're going to do an extension on the for these towns that can't decide what to do. They're getting 2 more months. Now what are they going to say?
It's, look, I think Camden, again, is an interesting... Look, first of all, let's just say this, that all the towns that are banning cannabis sales are not necessarily doing it because they're all out against marijuana sales.
True.
They are savvy real estate brokers, okay?
Yeah.
They're banning it now so that people will pay them to open it up later.
Thank you.
Okay? And they're banning it now. Banning marijuana in your town now just lays out a welcome mat for corporate lobbyists to come and beg you to open it up.
You said it.
And they love that. So, and then the next thing is these town people know their town. They know the people who own the real estate. They know who they want to line up. They know who the right people are for the cannabis industry in their town, quote unquote. So, it means that small business prospects have to have a good ground game in local politics, and that sucks. You shouldn't have to lobby your own city council just to open a business. You know what I mean? You shouldn't have. If I'm going to open a bakery, do I have to go to my city council and beg them to do it? No. It's not how small business gets done in America, is that every small business person has to become a politician and lobby their city council for permission to do business. But that's how they're setting it up for cannabis in each town. I think that really New Jersey did not think this forward, okay? We're a very municipal state. Our towns have a lot of power. The county commissions have a lot of power. So, and all this politics is very well interconnected up to the state house and even further. So, again, we ceded far too much power over to the towns for this opt-out, opt-in provision. And also promised towns impact zone fees. This is a bad dynamic. So that's why Camden might feel comfortable, delaying cannabis sales for a while. Maybe they're going to get the impact zone fees. They can just live on that for a bit. And again, that's a shell game. It's just not going to materialize if... right now the big corporate guys already have the first round of permits locked up pretty much under the law. So those guys are bound to come to market with expensive products. Regulators are bound to get dollar signs in their eyes and put too high a tax on it. And they just won't realize those impact fees, man.
Pete Camerano was on our show the other week, and he was talking about insurance covering our cannabis for medical cannabis. Do you think that's going to happen?
Well, it's certainly something that the industry wants. Curaleaf and Columbia Care and the large multi-state operators would like nothing more than to keep the prices the same, but have taxpayers foot the bill. How about, it might be a good deal for you to go in and swipe your state medical marijuana Medicaid card, but is it a good deal for taxpayers? And is it really a good deal for you? If they keep prices at $400 an ounce, it's going to really mess up everybody. And at the same time, they don't have the transparency on their quality control and their product safety that really warrants having subsidized access right now. I agree that down the road, we have to have insurance cover medical cannabis. It makes no sense. For honestly, it should be like every other healthcare option. If you're a patient who's on Medicare or Medicaid, you shouldn't have to pay anything for your medical cannabis. It should be that the dispensaries are considered in that same type of network. Let's be honest, medical marijuana programs are highly utilized. There are hundreds of thousands of patients in each state that runs a program. These are holistic healthcare programs run by the states. And the dispensaries are running on exclusive state contracts to provide the service. We have to start treating it like that. Right now, patients are getting price gouged. If we simply subsidize it and flip that over, taxpayers and patients will get price gouged. So I agree with subsidized access, but only when the industry can give us price transparency and absolute product safety transparency. When they're remediating moldy products and stuff, that's not real safe products. And we don't even know, because it's their industry trade secret, what their production costs are. That's not how things work for gas and oil. That's not how things work for big pharma drugs. There's a national conversation on affordability of healthcare. Medical marijuana should be part of that conversation. And we don't get there by just subsidizing hyperinflated prices. We do get there by subsidizing access and getting transparency back.
Yeah, we need more inspections of these dispensaries. I want them to be all wheelchair accessible. All the grows, the indoor grows, need to be wheelchair accessible.
You should be able to grow your own.
And I want to grow my own.
And honestly, I don't think anybody should be in the medical cannabis grows other than the employees. There should be cameras for us to be able to observe them, the public as well as whoever else. But we should be able to log in and look at a camera inside the grows anytime. Walking through them, when they first opened them up and they were bringing like every single TV station and radio station through, and I had reporters ask me, they're like, Chris, I did a tour of such and such as big cannabis garden in New Jersey today, and I was like brushing up against the plants. Is that okay for the patients? And I'm like, probably not.
No.
You know?
No, not at all.
So yeah, we don't want tours of the medical cannabis grows. You know, we hope that one day, dude, wouldn't it be awesome? Like there's like Diggerland where you can like drive like a front end loader in South Jersey, right? Wouldn't it be really cool if there was marijuana land that was simply just marijuana gardens that people went in and visited? You know, it's just like Longwood Gardens for cannabis. That's what we really need.
Yeah.
I would go to the fireworks show at that garden. You know, it needs to, you know, if only DuPont had gotten into marijuana instead of hemp. Longwood Gardens would have a huge section of it already dedicated, you know?
I wish DuPont got stoned. He fucked it up for us.
Oh, man. I bet there was so much weed growing in those Longwood Gardens greenhouses back in the day. We don't even know.
Oh,
and all kinds of drugs. Probably the coca plants were doing real well.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Yeah, but Pete Camerano and subsidized access, again, that's Senator Singleton and Senator Vitality's bill, separate bills, actually, on that issue. But, you know, Senator Singleton, I've had conversations with him about subsidized access. And he said, and he did put it into his bills, about price transparency. Look, subsidized access when it comes to pharmaceutical drugs comes down to that transparency aspect. Pharma companies, you know, with trade secrets and everything like that, try and inflate the prices on wholesale prices on their drugs. But, you know, federal authorities mostly try really hard to get them to be transparent in order to get taxpayers a good deal. So other countries do a better job. That's why pharma drugs are less expensive in Europe and Canada than they are in the United States. So we can't let the same scheme happen with medical cannabis. We can't let the same players, the same lobbyists, the same lawyers, the same hedge fund investors, we cannot let them turn medical cannabis into the next big pharma. You know, it's just not okay. And their golden cash cow is subsidized access. It's a dream that activists and patients want to realize, but it could also be a really unfortunate turn for the industry if it isn't done right.
Chris, am I allowed to give you a joint?
Give me?
Yeah.
Non-remunerative transfer is decriminalized.
Now,
I mean, yeah. And technically, I believe it's legal, like, even if you're 21 and you go to, eventually when there's a store or whatever open, you can go in and purchase an ounce of weed and then give it to somebody as a gift who's over 21. There's nothing against the law against that.
all right.
So can you give me a joint? Yeah, you can give me a joint.
Here-
However, let's be real specific here. If you walk into if you're a medical patient and you buy medical marijuana in a New Jersey medical dispensary, you roll it up and you hand it to a non-patient, that's not cool, apparently, under the law. So you can't give me one of their joints.
According to Kuma, I cannot share with you, according to Kuma.
Yeah, but I don't think that there's anything in there that says you can't share with another patient.
Yeah, no, I cannot share. No.
But I'm not sure what the rules would be if you passed a joint to another patient for non-remunerative sale. But yeah, you can hand me a joint under the existing decrim ordinances that are in place, or laws that are in place today in New Jersey, and then the future cannabis law and regulations for real retail cannabis. You can give me a joint.
But where did I get that joint? There's no recreational sales right now, so the cop's going to confiscate that joint.
It depends. If you're handing me the joint in front of the cop, like really like in front of his face, where the joint brushes against the cop's mustache, then the cop's probably going to confiscate the joint. if the cop can't see the joint, if it's obscured by your hand or your beard or your long hair, your Fabio locks, you know, then he really doesn't have he or she cop doesn't have any power to search and seize for marijuana right now per se. It would have to be essentially really obviously out in public view for them to make any issue or move to confiscate. And again, we have to say that we're talking about people who are over 21. Anybody under 21 or under 18, you know, they're gonna make a move to confiscate. They have those rules to try.
Well, here's the deal. I want to go to the Balloon Fest this year and get a table. And I'm trying to see what I can do at a Balloon Fest legally. Can I give away joints at a Balloon Fest? Probably not, because they're medical joints right now.
Yeah, you can't give joints away. I mean, you know, look, the giveaway thing is very cool. And I like it as a community activity. But also, too, you know, I think that if you're going to give things away, it's better to set people up to receive it rather than just stand on the street corner and hand things away for free. You should, like what they did in Virginia with the seed sharing. They informed people 2 weeks out. They had locations. They had people sort of sign up on Facebook. So they had an expectation of how many seeds they needed to give away, you know. But honestly, more people in Virginia showed up than they had seeds for.
All right, this is what we're going to do. There's going to be a password. There'll be a password. There's a dab bar at the Balloon Fest. There's a dab bar at the Balloon Fest. You heard it here for the first time. The password is Mecca Lecca High, Mecca Hiney Ho. You say those words?
Are you gonna run the dab bar with one of the big propane jets with the hot air balloons?
No.
You're gonna use to like heat up the nails and stuff.
No.
That'd be really. The dab bar is gonna be in the balloon. It's gonna be inside the balloon. I like that.
Let's do this.
It's gonna be tough to get wheelchair accessible, I will admit.
I'm going on a balloon, bro. I'm taking a balloon.
I like it. Yeah, that's good. It's a lot of fun. It's a liberating experience. I've done it.
Really?
Yeah. The largest balloon festival is in New Mexico. It's called the Balloon Fiesta. It's in Albuquerque every year. And yeah, man, you kind of can't not ride a balloon if you're out in New Mexico for a while.
Oh, I'm so excited. I've never done it.
It's a very wonderful, freeing feeling. It's sailing in the air. I like to sail boats on the ocean, so it's got a lot of similarities to sailing a boat on the ocean.
Yeah, I prefer sailing to an engine on a boat.
Oh, you should look up these new stable boats they have. Actually, they're really cool. They have stable docks and stable boats, which are perfect for wheelchair access. They're on hydraulic pontoons and gyroscopes. So no matter what the wave condition or what's happening, they're always completely stable. Oh,
okay. Nice.
Yeah, they're really cool. But yeah, man, I mean, I think for New Jersey to really move forward here, everybody, you know, I was having a good debate with Shalene Title on Twitter about timelines. And she's a former regulator from the Massachusetts Cannabis Control Commission. And her view as a former regulator, and I believe she's also an attorney, she says that, you know, activists do themselves a disservice by asking for timelines that are unachievable by regulators, you know. And from a regulator standpoint, I can hear that. You know, if the public is like, hey, we want sales to start in 6 months, and then regulators are like, well, geez, we can't even, you know, hire a secretary in 6 months, you know, let alone get a whole system up. I understand that point of view. But I also don't think that I also, you know, differ from her on what are realistic timelines. Because the big corporations clearly have a timeline built into the bill. They have statutory exclusivity on first-round permits. They're going to get them. They're going to open them. That was built in. So they already kind of have a timeline. What we're asking for is a timeline for small businesses. And right now it's completely open-ended. And I don't think that's fair. Virginia went the other direction, where they're simply saying that they're going to open legal sales in 2024, 3 years down the road. I also think that's a little bit unfair, too. So, like, I do want a realistic timeline, but 3 years seems way long in the tooth to pull something like this off. It's just not that much rocket science anymore, you know? What do you think is the timeline? When do you think that micro businesses in New Jersey should be able to open?
Right now. Like, what are we waiting for? Like, why are we waiting? We're just feeding the black market. I thought we didn't want the black market anymore. So we're just allowing the black market to just to keep going. Let's fix these problems if we're so concerned, and get the small businesses going and help mom and pop. And no.
What's funny is that the most safety-centered business that they could open first, I mean, the business that they could open like tomorrow is a laboratory, like a testing lab. And that would actually help. One of the things that I think is weird is that none of these cannabis labs that they license in the States have like walk-up testing services. When we do get home cultivation, we're going to get home cultivation in New Jersey, I swear it. We're going to get it. I mean, if you can grow marijuana in Virginia, you should be able to grow marijuana in New Jersey. So, but if you're going to grow your own marijuana, shouldn't you be able to take it into a laboratory and get a $5 test done to see what the cannabinoid levels are, just like everybody else? Shouldn't you be able to test it for mold, just in case? And also, if you purchase marijuana from a legal retailer or a medical dispensary, shouldn't you be able to take it in for a test if you're concerned about it? Just to check it, make sure it's right on the label. That's the whole sector that could open tomorrow, is a whole network of independent cannabis labs. I think that would really help kickstart things. And, and I don't call it underground, I call it traditional market. Other people call it a legacy market. But our traditional market operators, they should have access to laboratory testing too. They're buying bulk pounds for their neighborhood customers. A $5 test would tell them what the cannabinoid levels were. And they could actually compete like a real cannabis business, just with a simple test. So I think I think we should push the CRC to start licensing labs and push for those, push for that sector to open up right away. That would help everybody. It would especially help patients and consumers. And if you could walk up and double test your medical cannabis from one of the big dispensaries and see if the label is correct, boy, would that keep those guys honest.
Chris, I have in my hand a cart from Curaleaf from 2019 that I'm saving to get tested whenever I can. So here, yeah.
Well, why are you putting that into your time capsule, man?
I want to test it to see what's in here. I want to know.
All right. Why? What do you think is in there?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm afraid to ask.
Are you worried that what are you worried that's in there?
It could be anything. Could be. I don't know. I'm scared.
Did you have an adverse reaction to this product or something?
No, I heard other people had problems with it, so I wanted to save one and get it tested. And some guy was supposed to test it for me. This guy, Michael Lyons. He goes around speaking at engagements and talks against vaping. So he was going to test this for me because he apparently has friends in the state police that he can test things. Well, I never got it tested. Yeah, you ever hear that guy?
That sounds. Look,
Michael Lyons.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's why I have it.
I mean, jeez, oh man.
Crazy.
Okay, that's a multi-layered thing that you just laid out there. It's like so complicated. All right. First of all, okay.
Say it.
I don't know who Michael Lyons is.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
Okay. I'm not sure where he's doing motivational speeches about vaping or anti-vaping. But I will tell you this. I only, okay. If he told you that he was going to get that product tested in New Jersey.
Yes.
The laboratory that essentially is the medical cannabis laboratory is the State Crime and Forensics Laboratory.
Right.
For essentially the state police. It's run, I believe, at Rutgers, actually, up in North Jersey.
Okay.
And most states do this. If you ever watch the Netflix documentary, How to Fix a Drug Scandal, that details the two state drug labs in Massachusetts and how things can go terribly wrong. But anyway, so the medical marijuana industry in New Jersey uses the state forensics drug lab here. It's the only lab that's really set up for cannabinoid testing and the only one that they've allowed, a license to do this essentially. But in Pennsylvania, there's 4 independent labs that are licensed to the medical cannabis industry. And I actually was going to work with one of them on a story for the Inquirer where they were going to test CBD products that were on the shelves of grocery stores to see if there was any cannabinoids in them at all. But the testing that you would have to perform on that cart is pretty complex. Like, no laboratory is like a Star Trek tricorder. You know what I mean? It's not like you like wave something over there and it's like, oh, you know, it's like part THC, part CBD. Oh, there's some heavy metals in there. These are a series of gas chromatograph and other tests that they have to do, and they have to take multiple samples out of there to figure out what the different things are. So one test is for adulterants, one test is for the cannabinoid levels, etc. So they have rounds of tests that they do on each product. So part of the problem with the carts is that the cannabis concentrates themselves are heavily processed. And then they're added into often other heavily processed oils. Many manufacturers claim that there's nothing in the carts but cannabis-derived substances, which may be true. But you can literally make paint thinner out of cannabis plants if you process them enough. You can certainly make boards out of hemp. You can turn this plant into a lot of things, and the processes that they use for the solvent extraction and things like that, it's extremely heavy processing of this material. At the end of their work in these laboratories, they claim to have pure terpenes and various kinds of cannabis oils, and then they remix them together into the carts. In order to make the cart work, and this is not vaporization, it is combusting an atomized liquid, there has to be a diluent. And the industry really had a thing a few years ago when everybody discovered that they were putting PPG and PEG into the medical cannabis carts. It freaked out the patient community. So the industry moved to language that said, we don't use any of that stuff, it's all cannabis-derived stuff. But that, in some independent testing, is found not to be true. There's still PPG, PPE, and other dilutants in the products. Other manufacturers disclose that they're putting the dilutants in and say it's just refined coconut oil, MCT, which is another dilutant that they use in the carts. There is really not a lot of science to say that the dilutants, PPG, PEG, MCT, or even cannabis-derived terpenes are actually safe for human consumption over the long term in this way. It's not to say that they aren't. It's just to say that there's no testing that's been done to say that they are. And we're really far down the road from the whole plant once they're so far processed. The carts are really an obscure realm of science. I have to say that. Personally, I don't use them. I get offered them 10 times a day by other people in the cannabis community. I never use a cart. I just don't use them. It's not that I don't know that there are a lot of good producers out there, because there are craft producers as well, and I've watched them get made. But I have to say, even amongst the craft industry, the process itself is something that I personally do not trust. There's not a standard to it, and once it comes up to the corporate manufacturing level, the industrial manufacturing of these carts with cannabis products, I don't trust them at all. What independent testing has been done has revealed a wide array of contaminants and problems with these products. And it's not just from the liquids that go inside, it's from the devices themselves. Like what you make up the battery and the chamber of, what actually goes into the makeup of the physical device can be just as toxic. So, again, if these are going to be medical cannabis products, I don't think that safety is there to have broad use of these by patients. I'd rather have patients use whole plant flower or ice hash or other techniques that preserve the whole plant through the process.
Yeah, whole plant therapy is very helpful. I like live rosin.
Yeah, I think that kind of stuff is not as processed. That's one step down from the plant. So it's still a whole plant product. But any further than that, you're getting, and once you start trying to refine it out and remix it and get the right dilutants together and put it into a vape cart, lefty dude, seriously, if you put enough MCT or PPG or terpenes, mix it in with a cheesesteak, you could vape it out of that cart, man. You can vape anything out of there. So that's my point. You can dilute anything and vape it out of a cart. It's scary, but it's true.
Including mold.
Right. Well, that's the thing about the mold and the extraction that they just legalized in Pennsylvania, which is that we do know that when you extract molds and other contaminants down, they're more concentrated. Not less present. You can put it through other processes, like even irradiation, to try and eliminate that those organic compounds or other contaminants like salmonella or something like that. But again, how much does that processing then affect the cannabis product? We don't know. And I don't like an industry that is playing these complex scientific games with people's lives, especially for how much they're charging for these products.
Well, they're building a whole industry off the backs of the sick and dying, and I don't like it.
Well, vape carts, man, again, like, I'm not sure. What I'm surprised by is the lack of innovation sometimes in the cannabis space. Like, vape carts are crude. Honestly, dab rigs are super crude. The fact that a rolled joint is still one of the most efficient cannabinoid delivery systems that we know of, what the heck is going on? So there's got to be better, more flavorful, awesome ways to consume this whole flower. But there's a real lack of innovation, and I think that's because people just have their heads like stuck in a rig right now.
Well, I'm going to smoke my rig now.
See? This is exactly what I'm talking about.
I got a Puffco Peak, though.
Well, let me know if there's... Let me see. We've been on for 49 minutes. Lightning round. Any other questions?
I just want to tell you, my Puffco Peak talks to my phone. So I can actually... My Puffco Peak will interact with my phone, so I can actually program my bong with my phone. It's amazing. It tells me...
Good.
Dude, it tells me...
That's like the single-use, hydrogen-powered, Amazon Intelligence-enabled rectal nebulization pod that they're going to come out with.
I want that next. But, dude, I love it. It tells me how many dabs I do.
Every time you put it in, all of your cannabinoid levels will get posted to your social media instantly.
How do I do that? I need that.
It's like those new diabetes readers, man. It's going to happen all the time. This stuff is... Look, you just brought up another point. Data protection. Lefty, seriously, there was a company that sold vibrators that interacted, sex toys that interacted with cell phones. They got sued by thousands. There was a class action lawsuit against the people who bought these devices because they were stealing their data.
Wait, what?
Yes, true story. So, here's the problem. The Health Insurance Privacy Protection Act, HIPAA, of 1996 does not apply to medical marijuana dispensaries or card doctors or anything about the industry.
Wait, what?
There's no data privacy. No data privacy.
Why?
They can say they're acting like they're HIPAA compliant, but they don't have to. They're not. They can't be HIPAA compliant. It's a federal law. So, look, there's no privacy protection for medical marijuana patients whatsoever. Your data is being bought, sold, traded left and right. The industry lives on your data. What your condition is, how often you buy marijuana, which strains you buy. That data is as valuable to them as the cannabis in their locker. And we need better data protection. There should be absolute data protection and privacy for medical cannabis patients, but that does not exist. In fact, there is less protection and privacy for medical cannabis patients, arguably, than for people doing anything else in commercial activity right now.
I did not know that because it's a federal law, so that makes total sense. I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
wow.
It's sad. And unfortunately, the card services, the people who register, help patients register for medical marijuana cards and things like that, those services are really trading in the data as much as the dispensaries. So, this patient data is incredibly, stupidly valuable. It's overly valuable. And they shouldn't be able to trade it at all. It should have no value because they shouldn't have it. They shouldn't be able to sell it, trade it, or even hint that they could tell you about it.
This is blowing my mind right now. I did not know this at all. So
oh yeah, I mean, there are whole companies that trade in patient data and then help other companies visualize and maximize on that data for their sales and marketing campaigns. This is their bread and damn butter. Look, but that's what you brought up. Your bong is interacting with your phone. It's not just the dispensaries. It's the freaking Puffco is now wants your data, man. They don't just want you to activate your bong from your phone because it's a cool tech convenience like controlling a drone. They want your data. They want to know how often you're using it. They want to know what temperature it is. They want to know how many puffs it runs a day. They want to know how often you're smoking your freaking weed.
Wow.
That, to me, I don't know, dude. Maybe it's just I'm a Luddite. I'm 45. Maybe that's the new 70 or something. But I feel like all this incursion into our data lives as cannabis consumers, medical marijuana patients, caregivers, all these companies, all these devices, I think that the cannabis consumers and patients deserve better. I think we need to fight for better privacy, like right now.
Well, now we will. Now we have another fight. Another layer of the onion has been revealed. Data protection.
Well, that's my point, too. You want subsidized, Pete Cameron is going to talk about subsidized access. Senators Vitality and Singleton are going to put up bills to it. But, again, what do we get back for that, okay? What do taxpayers get back? We want privacy. We want quality. We want good prices. Those are simple asks, and that's what we want out of other industries like energy and healthcare, and we deserve it out of medical cannabis. But no, we don't have privacy. We don't have price protections. We don't have any of that right now.
Baby steps.
Don't say that.
Okay.
Harry Anslinger did not take baby steps to make prohibition happen. It was one giant leap. We're not going to get out of this with baby steps. It's going to be one giant leap.
I know, it seems like we're making baby steps. I'd love that one giant leap. That's what I want.
Well, it's going to happen because I think the corporations are playing themselves into a box canyon. Nobody likes corruption. Taxpayers don't like corruption. If they really want subsidized access, they're going to have to come clean. These companies are going to have to be transparent, be safe, and be good operators instead of cutthroat corporations that prey on people.
They have a lot of cash.
Quite honestly, if they want subsidized access for this industry, I'm not sure it's going to be these corporations that get that deal. I don't think they deserve it.
Working class people.
It's going to have to be a new set of businesses, like craft cannabis.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay? Like, how about subsidized access only goes to small farmers? How about they're the only ones who get the subsidized access fees? Big corporations, they're big. They could just keep charging people.
Okay, I just heard from Marina, Jeff Bezos from Amazon and DuPont want to make it off the federal list. Take it off the federal... unschedule it, you mean, Marina? I think they want to unschedule it.
Descheduling is what we wanted since 1970, basically. We never wanted in the Controlled Substances Act. But that's going to be the biggest fight next, because there's a big debate in Washington about how federal reform will play out. If you reschedule cannabis to Schedule 3 or 4, whoa, wow, then the FDA is in charge of it. But if you take it out of the CSA, the FDA has no purview whatsoever. I don't want the FDA to control cannabis. I don't think it's in their purview. They gave us wonderful things like Vioxx. So I don't trust the FDA even a little bit, not to handle cannabis. So I would like descheduling too. I agree with that. But Lefty, the question is, what's next for federal reform? We've been pushing the MORE Act and descheduling for a long time. But now all these state legalization laws are controlled by corporations. Maybe that's where federal reform comes in. Maybe, and this would be hilarious if it ever came true, maybe it's the federal government that needs to save small businesses from the state laws that are already run by corporations. Maybe that's what needs to happen.
These cannabis corporations have a lot of cash, and bags of cash go fast in New Jersey. I'm just saying.
It's not even bags of cash, dude. It's the promise of future profits. And you know what? They're playing a shell game with that. Boy, are they playing a shell game with that.
Wow.
It's a real shame, Lefty, because, again, small businesses and the very impact zone cities are going to be left holding the bag on this one and waiting a long, long time while those, corporate players, corporate cannabis, gets to realize instant investments. It's pretty uncool.
Well, Chris, thank you so much for enlightening us and blowing my mind a couple of times tonight already. Now I got stuff to think about here.
People in the industry about that HIPAA thing, they're gonna be like, "Oh, of course we follow HIPAA." Again, it's just not true.
No.
It's not structurally, factually correct. They could say they're acting like they're HIPAA compliant or they're following HIPAA compliant rules, but your data is not private, and it is being sold, bought, and traded today as dispensaries do. I mean, where do you think companies like, and again, like there are other companies that collect your data in other ways, like Weed Maps or Leafly or something. Every time you go through them to order at a dispensary somewhere else or something, that's your data also getting collected. So, again, we have to be much more careful as consumers about how we act as consumers and patients. If we want our data to be protected. Otherwise, find a good traditional market craft cannabis producer, and you're not being tracked, and enjoy legalization if you're in New Jersey, Connecticut, New Mexico, or Virginia today, for sure.
That's for sure. Yeah, good on you, Virginia and Connecticut. Good job.
Yeah. Hats off to everybody in Virginia who just sprouted their first marijuana plant. We're waiting for it here still in New Jersey, okay?
Oh, congrats. Well, thanks, Chris. Do you have a website or some way that something you want to promote?
Oh, everybody, most of what I do anymore, my most public face is my social media now at Freedom is Green. So if you go to Twitter and look up Freedom is Green, you'll find everything I've got going on. So you can find me there.
Right on, brother. Chris Goldstein, thank you so much, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Have a good one, man.
You too, bro. See ya. Wow. Well, there you go. Good stuff right there. Now, I think I feel smarter. Do I feel smarter? Thanks, Brady. Thank you, Brady. Just checking my notes here. Thank you. Okay. Let us call. Where is it? Is it regular phone? Where is this call? I got 2 calls today. Where are they? Hold on. Really? What happened? I can't find it. Oh my God. I don't have it. Oh wait, no wonder. It's right here. Dumb. Let's see if this works.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Lefty.
Yeah, you can hear me. Tommy Lyons,
Yes,
what's
sir.
up, my man? How are you?
I'm doing really well, man. Thanks for calling me tonight.
Yeah, dude. You had some really cool stuff going on today. What happened to you, bro? What's going on? What happened today? This is really good. You're going to love this.
So we have been working really hard in the fight for legalization. Can I just take a quick second to say hi to everybody out there? We're live right now. Sativa Cross Podcast, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. I love the Sativa Cross Podcast, man. This has been my favorite for the past, 6 years now. So thank you for calling me. We spoke earlier about what I was getting ready to do today, and that included reaching out to a senator who had actually reached out to us. When I say us, I'm talking about me and Bonnie O'Callahan, who is the general manager at Nature's Care and Wellness, the dispensary that I work at in Perryville. Well, we were able to talk to him today. We got on a call for a good 40 minutes or so to talk about legalization, to talk about what's going on with legalization in Maryland right now. So Maryland is on the forefront when it comes to the legalization program. And what we were doing today was talking to the senator to work on what would be good for the program. They wanted our input. They want to know what the people want. And they see that we have a unique way of looking at things from a perspective from many different walks of life. So one of the things that we were talking about was making sure that people from all walks of life are going to be taken care of. So yeah, everyone wants a piece of this. So it's like, how can everyone be helped when it comes to the legislation that's going to talk about legalization? That's going to change the world, the entire scope of everything that we're doing. And as I've mentioned, Right now, I'm a resident of Maryland, so I've been working in the Maryland cannabis industry, and we're working on Maryland legislation when it comes to recreational cannabis, adult use cannabis. And the first thing that I did, Lefty, before I got on the call with that senator today was I called you, and I wanted to know what your thoughts are on legalization, what you think in regard to cannabis being regulated, being taxed, everything that goes into the legislation for cannabis legalization. I wanted to hear it from you because you are my idol, man. I mean, straight up, when I do this stuff, like I think about what would Lefty Grimes want when it comes to cannabis, because you care about the people.
Thanks,
You're a man
brother.
that cares about the patients.
Thanks,
I am
brother.
someone that cares about the patients. I care about the people. And something you mentioned
you do.
earlier that really struck me is compassion over money. So you taught me about the word compassion. You taught me the depth of the word compassion and what that meant when it came to helping sick people specifically. So there are a lot of sick people out there that are benefiting from cannabis as medicine. But when we look at cannabis as medicine, it goes so much further than that. So people use the term medical cannabis. They use the term adult use cannabis, recreational cannabis. If you take those precursors away, you're left with cannabis. So what the people need, what I believe, what you believe, is that we need more avenues for safe access. So we need these people that embody the stigma, people that embody ignorance, elitism, people that are against cannabis. We need them to see that it's not a bad thing, that it's going to help them as well. And the compassion aspect of it, the safe access. I think if people understood safe access, knowing that that just means people who use cannabis don't have to worry about persecution for that. Instead of having to worry, they'll be able to pay tax on it. They'll be able to contribute to society because these people are already here, Lefty. They've been here forever. You've been doing this your entire life. Cannabis people are here. It has to be a time now where instead of having to hide in the shadows, worried about getting beat down by cops, by authorities that are against cannabis, against the scoffs from the square community, we need this to end right now. And that's what we're working on, is trying to establish and break through that stigma that has been growing, a glass ceiling in the cannabis world itself. We look at so many other different causes people have fought to bring things to light. And that's what we're doing with cannabis. That's what I'm doing with you. That's why we're on this call right now. You have been doing the Sativa Cross podcast relentlessly, week in, week out. Your podcast, Lefty, are 4 hours long, 3 hours long. This is serious time. This is dedication. This is effort that you put into this. And you do it at the level where you're going to make a difference. So the difference that you've made, not only in everybody's life, but in my life, man, again, I want to thank you for that. And when we talk about compassion, we talk about people not getting taken advantage of. So having to listen to the people, having the people represented, getting the people to have a voice when it comes to fairness in regard to cannabis. One of the big topics is home grow. So when we talk about home grow, Lefty, you and I, when we put our minds in line, I'd love it if there was 25 plants. You could regulate it like tomatoes. That's something that we've been talking about for a long time. But the way that the American population, that the population throughout the state, this to be true in Jersey as well. People, it's just not going to happen like that right now. So we have to get there. We have to get to that point. And the way to get there is going to be through regulation and legalization. We also need decriminalization, because decrim and legalization have to go hand in hand. Without one, you really can't have the other if you don't have one. I also want to talk about cannabis in hospitals. So that's something that's big, and that's on the radar in Maryland as well. One of the things that they never thought would happen was cannabis in schools, because of the federal funding from what the schools get from the federal government. They were worried about that being taken away because of openly having cannabis in schools, even though it's for medical purposes. Well, they said that would never happen. Guess what? That bill passed. Connor's courage. That bill passed, and now kids can have medical cannabis administered in school by a trained nurse, so they don't have to leave the premises. Now, we're not talking about smoking. We're not talking about vaping right now.
Right, just oil.
You can't smoke cigarettes in school. You can't smoke cigarettes on the premise.
Right.
Smoking just is not something that is being looked at right now when it comes to going into schools and going into the hospitals. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If I'm not smoking cigarettes in a hospital, I really don't think anything should be smoked, just because that subjects a lot more people to the cannabis being used, as opposed to, say, you could use edibles, or if you could use tinctures, or if you could use, suppositories, if you could use different kinds of creams, things like that. There's no reason that shouldn't be able to be something that is accessible when you're in a hospital. So one of the big fights, one of the things that when we start talking about legalization and taxation and decriminalization and home grow and all this stuff, that's all important. But really, when we go back to compassion, we have to look at the people that are sick and the people who have been using cannabis for so long as medicine, and these same people who have had to hide it. We can't forget about them. And when we see things like what's going on out west in Colorado, it's like their medical program is taking a step back. They have reduced the amount of available cannabis for medical patients for what seems to be to increase or boost the effectiveness of the rec program. And I mean, that really hurts me. When I think about it, when we get cannabis legalized and all this tax is coming from it, we should enhance the medical program, push down the prices when it comes to what the patients are paying, keep it tax-free, give the patients more of an option, give them, more regulation in regard to having that opportunity. If you want a product that has that deep, profile, you can access that. You should have opportunity in the medical program based off of medical needs and sick people trying to get better. And to me, that doesn't mean restricting the program. If anything, that means deregulation when it comes to the medical program, opening up different conditions, giving people more of an avenue to have safe access, making it easier to get your card, and continuing to have quality product in the program. And the programs are different throughout. So obviously every state has different programs. You were telling me about what's going on in Jersey with different municipalities, people from city to city, whether or not they can have it. And you talked about the tax that goes to the city. And that's something actually that I wanted to ask you about. When you mentioned that, so some of these city taxes, now, how does it work? Say, if they have more dispensaries, do they get more of the overall tax to the city? Or if they don't have any of the dispensaries, do they still get that tax money left? Can you tell me a little bit more about that? Because I was confused earlier.
You're talking about the wheelchair tax?
Well, so we were talking about a couple different taxes. We were talking about the wheelchair tax. But do you know what I mean when I talk about how...
the cancer tax.
Money?
The cancer tax.
What's that?
The cancer tax.
Talk to me about that.
The multiple sclerosis tax. The saddest tax you can possibly think of, but they thought of it. They found a way to tax cancer and people in wheelchairs. And it's absolutely disgusting. And I think if you start the conversation that way, it's going to change the whole narrative, because nobody wants to tax people in wheelchairs. Nobody wants to tax people with cancer, but yet here we are. Taxing the people. And I want representation for that taxation, Tommy. If you're going to tax me in a wheelchair, give me wheelchair access.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm all about that, Lefty. And that's where you can't overlook people that are in wheelchairs, because that's an easy spot to overlook. I mean, look at everything that you've been doing on the streets, raising awareness for wheelchair accessibility. And it's easy for people like that to look past it. As you mentioned before, you've had issues where you dealt with an assault because you were in a wheelchair, and that needs to be curbed.
Just the other day, bro.
Yeah.
Like what?
I'm
really?
sorry that happened to you, man. You've been through these situations your entire life where you have to deal with being accosted
Tommy,
for something that
listen,
is a basic human need.
Listen, you can help me. You're a Christian.
What do you got, Lefty?
You're a Christian. I'm a Christian, and I'm not being very Christian-like when I'm yelling at people in the friggin' street. I don't like when I do that. I know I got my ramp now. Yeah, I know I'm going to go to court, and I'm going to get a ramp, and I'm going to hug it out with this guy. I'm going to smoke a joint with him. Maybe I'm supposed to do that, but I don't want to have to yell on the street, bro, and I shouldn't be yelling on the street, and it bothers me that I got triggered when he says to me, oh, we don't serve people in wheelchairs, or we don't rent to people in wheelchairs. I got triggered, bro, and I couldn't turn it off. I was going. And I need to know, how do I invoke more of the turn the other cheek that Jesus taught us, rather than eye for an eye that Jah teaches us. I was all about the eye for an eye. You're not going to out yell me. I'm going to out yell you. And I got him to assault me, or he just I didn't get him to. He assaulted me. He's an idiot. He assaulted me. What the hell are you doing, touching people? But still, I escalated it by yelling, and I feel bad that I yelled, and I'm probably going to apologize to this guy for yelling at him. And how do I not yell at these people, Tommy? There's so much ignorance. I want to yell, but I shouldn't. Right?
I can relate to that wholeheartedly, Lefty, because you know me for a long time now. You know that I have that explosiveness where I get mad. So you've seen it, you know how I can react to these situations. And I've had to learn to control that over the course of the years. And I've been controlling that. Believe it or not, Lefty, I've been controlling that by using cannabis and using it in a regimen that helps me maintain composure. So instead of being reactionary, cannabis helps me slow down a little bit to comprehend what people are saying and what's going on. And then before I let words out of my mouth, I think about it. I think about what I'm about to say, and I try to take a high road. I try to, not have that explosive reaction or that reaction where I start yelling, because that's where your passion comes in. That's where that something isn't right, and something inside of you makes you want to act out on that to get a situation that's gonna that's something that's right. You don't want to have to be assaulted. So when that gets triggered inside of you, Lefty, and this is something that a lot of people deal with, I think, that trigger sensation when someone sets you off, and it's really hard to control that. But I have been seeing success, for myself because of cannabis. I attribute it to cannabis usage, cannabis as medicine specifically when it comes to controlling, mood enhancers, antidepressant, and just being able to have more of a clear mind, and that helps me make better decisions.
So what you're saying is I wasn't stoned enough. Okay, I can accept that. All right, I can fix that problem. Here, Jim Miller says, Tommy and I think alike. When recreational gets distributed through dispensaries, it should subsidize patients' cost. What do you think, Tommy?
I agree 100%. I think, and I'd like to say thank you to Jim Miller for everything that he does in regard to cannabis advocacy and, being loud and fist in the air.
Why are we loud? Because you're not listening. That's why we're loud. That's why, because you're not listening.
But talking about cannabis as medicine, people are dying out there. Patients are dying, and people need this. So when it comes to subsidizing the costs for the medical program, I think that's a great idea. They're two different programs. Your recreational and your medical are going to be different, but it is cannabis. And the whole forefront right now is there's a medical program and there's not a recreational program. The recreational program is going to learn a lot from the medical program. And it's on the backs of patients right now. This is on the backs of people that have been using cannabis forever. And these are the people that are going to need help. So to implement a recreational program, we can't leave them in the dust. We need to help these people who have been using cannabis as a medicine and who really need it, who are sick. And we have to keep them in mind while we're, moving this train forward, thinking about how we can use it to boost the economy, how we can create jobs, how we can help local areas, entrepreneurship, and not go toward that big corporation, the conglomerates that want to come in and inhale all of the licenses.
Let's raise up the working class.
Just like the rest of us. I know people that work in those industry entities, and the people that work in those entities are good people. And the products that they have are good products, and they're at really reasonable prices. It's just the whole idea of, how that evil conglomerate mentality. So trying to find a balance where you can have products that are reasonably priced, where everybody can win, and still have entrepreneurship, where things made in America. Here in Maryland, people want things made in Maryland. And that's important. So trying to find the balance is finding that sweet spot. And that's what we're working on right now, is trying to narrow down that sweet spot on how everybody can win. And that's where, that's the toughest portion, but we're getting there, Lefty, through learning, through education, through awareness, through people like you, people like Jim. This is where I'm getting my information from you guys, the people that you guys talk to, people across the country, people that are local to me, patients, politicians. And everything went very well with the call, by the way. The senator ended up, he forwarded me some information afterwards. I'm going to get to digging into the bills. He gave me some contact information for another delegate. There's a couple other delegates. So, this is a handful of government representatives that I've been talking to right now, Lefty. 3 delegates, a senator, members of the Cannabis Commission, and just different entities in the area trying to bring everything together and, do it for the people.
Thank you, brother. You're the best.
Thank you, Lefty. You're the best, man.
You the man. How can I be the man when you the man?
Oh, and the comptroller, Lefty, the comptroller of Maryland. So and he's running for governor. So one of the things, so when it comes to politics, Lefty, especially when it comes to cannabis politics, there's another thing that I've learned a lot from you because of everything that was going on with Governor Christie. Governor Christie was just, I feel like everything that we looked at led to Governor Christie not being for the people that he was supposed to serve. I feel like he was anti the people, and he was doing what he could to hold people down and, restrict medical cannabis and take medical cannabis away. It's openly against cannabis. And that just hurt people. So that's what we're fighting against right now. And I think there's a lot more of an openness to accepting cannabis and seeing the value that it has for every sector of life. Everybody has to win with legalization, and I think everybody can. The people that want money, the people that have money, the people that don't have money, impoverished communities, communities that are flourishing, because all of these people are people. And that's what we have to think about when we think about the impact that this program is going to have.
Let's put the last first, Tommy.
The last verse?
The last first. You got to put them first. Because I know once recreational hits New Jersey, all these people in wheelchairs are going to get to the front of those lines, and they're going to be out of the strains that they need, out of the amounts that they need, and sometimes it's even moldy.
Oh.
So we were talking about that before with Chris, about moldy cannabis, how they're what do they call it? They refurb the cannabis. It's not refurb, it's another word. Remediate the cannabis.
They remediate it?
Yeah, they take the mold and they clean it. They clean the moldy weed, and they get all the mold out. And then they resell it as remediated cannabis.
I've not heard of that.
That's in Pennsylvania. Apparently they passed a law that's illegal. It's legal to do that in Pennsylvania.
Wow, they even actually addressed it and made it legal.
Yeah, it's actually legal to do that.
Pennsylvania is an interesting state. I feel like, well, hang on. The reason that you bring, just while you're on the topic of Pennsylvania, they approved, I think, 18 licenses to harvest. And when I think of harvest, Lefty, I think of kind of like Curaleaf. And when you think of Wawa and Royal Farms and 7-Eleven, like the idea, the mindset behind that of trying to, just have those pop up on every corner. That's what pushes people out. That's what pushes communities out. Bodegas in the inner cities. That's what tries to push them out. And that's what we need to not have happen. We need to have those bodegas flourish so that instead of, having light traffic, having struggling to pay the rent based off of things that they're selling every day, convenience stores. These are people, these are families in the community. You give them the opportunity to have a regulated recreational cannabis stream of income, and it's just going to change everything.
Yeah, I want mom and pop cannabis. I think they should have a law where if you own a dispensary, you have to live in that county, at least. How's that?
That's an interesting way to look at it.
Yeah, you don't want these corporations coming in, these billionaires. You want local people.
Well, you know what I can do, Lefty, is I can talk about NCW and how that worked out. So Bobby Windsor owns NCW. He's one of the owners. Now, these owners are still local. So I live in Cecil County. That's where the dispensary is. The neighboring county is Harford County. And that's where he lives, in Harford County, which is right next door. And when they were doing these licenses, that's what he got, license-wise. So it worked out. It's Cecil County. It's still local to ownership. And the ownership, the main owners are located here in Maryland. They're boots on the ground in the store. They take time. They learn the patients. They really are about medical cannabis. They're about expanding the medical program, but also legalization. So a retail front as well, and this is going to blow your mind, Lefty, but a retail storefront, retail ownership is pushing for home grow. This is a pro home grow platform from a non-vertically integrated retail medical cannabis store. So that's how you know that it is about compassion over compensation.
We love NCW. How cool is that?
Loves you, Lefty.
How cool is that? You got dispensaries helping you with home grow and other things that you need as a patient. Come on now.
I'm telling you. It's good stuff, man. And there's a lot of statistics that go into it. So for the people that want to talk about the money, look at what Colorado enacted their program in 2014. Since 2014, they've made $1.6 billion. That's a good job. Look at Washington, though. Washington has been around for a year less, and they have generated $1.8 billion. So something that they've done has generated more income. California, since 2018. Now, we just talked about Washington in 15 generating $1.8 billion. California, 3 years later, since then, has generated over $2 billion. 3 years less than Washington. And California is also probably the highest tax state. And you know who I talk to? I talk to a lot of people that we know along the way, Lefty, that go out to California, that, go down south, that go up to the northeast quadrant of the world to talk to different cannabis specialists and people who have been doing this their entire lives. And one of the things that I'm pushing for and that I spoke to the senator about today is that we have to take care of those people, the people who have been moving cannabis their entire lives, who have been in the shadows, who have been supplying people with cannabis. Those people need to be taken care of, and they need to pay taxes just like everybody else. They're using the same roads that other people use that pay taxes. They're sending their kids to the same schools, and they need to pay taxes for that just like everybody else does. And what you see as I'm talking through this is that the people who have been doing this illegally are just people that are already in our community, that are good people, that are family people, that would like to be able to come out of the shadows and be a part of everything that's going on instead of having to hide from it. It's not right.
Yeah, they should be able to sell their weed that they grow to a dispensary. Like, that's legalization right there.
Yeah, sell the weed that they grow to a dispensary. They should be able to, sell weed to their stream of patients.
Whatever I want to do. Yeah. There should be no limit on this.
I think we'll get there, Lefty. I think right now we have to figure out what the limits should be as we're figuring out limits, regulation, and what's going to be acceptable, what's not going to be acceptable. We have to, this is where a lot of the give and take is going to come in. A word that I hate to use, but compromise. There's going to have to be some kind of compromise along the way. And I think that's okay because we're going in the right direction.
So we ask for everything then, that's all. And work down from there. Hey, do you guys have FICO in Delaware?
So
and Maryland?
Full extract cannabis oil is available in a few different forms. One of the main forms that we see is labeled as RSO, your Rick Simpson oil, your Ricky Simpson, cannabis advocate, activist, somebody who changed the game.
Right.
The oil that is labeled as the Rick Simpson oil is basically just full spectrum extract. We also have, let me see. So for FICO, when you think about that, when I think of FICO in its consumption format, is how it's just like oils like terp sap or distillate or CO2 oil. It's activated. You can use it sublingually. You can consume it orally. You can turn it into a topical. It's probably the most versatile cannabis extract in regard to how your body can use it as medicine. You're the one that taught me before about suppositories and how that is an excellent way to consume cannabis. We've talked before about belly button consumption. There's so many different ways that it can be used. But yeah, FICO is it's an available product, but it's very expensive. So for like a gram, you figure you'd be looking at maybe $60 for a plastic syringe on the low end, up to $90 on the high end. But that's also before deals, discounts, points, stuff like that. So that's another where, so if you see a product in the store like that, like a syringe with the RSO, if you see that at $60 price tag, if you come in on the right day at the right time, you get 25% off that product. So that's saving patients money right there. In regard to things like that go on kind of like a flash sale, if you keep your eye out for that kind of stuff, you can find it. And then you can, you can keep that money in your pockets. That's another way that you can save. Also, the technicians. I've taught these technicians how to show people how to stretch their dollar when it comes to medical cannabis, how to use cannabis, not excessively so that they can get the appropriate amount that they need, where they're not going to be overloading their endocannabinoid system, because that's just going to result in the cannabis being wasted anyway when it's excreted, through the body when it becomes waste. So, when people can stretch their meds, when they can save money on their meds, that's compassion. And again, that's what drives everything, Lefty.
Well, we'll get there. We will get there.
Opioids, man. I want to talk about opioids. So there's an opioid crisis everywhere. And the legalization program needs to have funds appropriated for the anti-opioid campaign.
What can we do? How do we create awareness for this?
So we speak up about it, and then we're also going to have to allocate resources toward the program. These senators are on board with it. The delegates are on board with the anti-opioid campaign. They are not about it. They are not pro, when it comes to pharmaceutical jamming pills down people's throats. They're not about, when you think of a pain management clinic, how when you go to pain management, they start giving you flack back and forth about whether or not you use cannabis. There are some pain management clinics that won't prescribe any kind of pain medicine to people that use cannabis. So for a lot of them, it's one or the other. You either get opioids or you get cannabis, and that's a sick mentality. But the ways to do it, like,
What happened? We lost him. I didn't hang up. Oh, did you just hang up? Tommy, did you just hang up on me? You got me. He got me. I wasn't going to hang up on you. I promise. What happened? No, I didn't hang up on you. No, I didn't hang up on you. What the hell, man? I thought you... Wait, hold on. I'm going to tell you. I thought you hung up on me. Why don't you just call me back? I think we should just... I'm going to call up and hang up on him. Oh, shit. Now it's not going to work. Can you hear me? Hold on. My phone's not working again. Hold on. Can you hear me now? How's that? Is that... No? Shoot. I had you before. Oh. Okay, now... All right. I got you back. There you are, Tommy. How you doing?
okay, doing good, man.
I didn't hang up on you.
Okay. All good. I was thinking, I didn't know.
No, usually I do, and I thought you hung up on me.
No.
Doing your thing, trying to get me before I got you.
We played that game before, too.
I don't want to play that game. I wanted to get informed by you first. Are you done informing me with stuff?
Oh, no, man.
I gotta call.
Lefty, I could just breaking my balls.
I'm just testing my phones. I got my phones back. My phone works now. Okay, what were you going to tell me? You were going to say something. I said, "Are you done?" You said, "No." I said, "Oh shit." I said, "Damn it." I was already in motion.
Oh, we were so close.
I was I was hanging up already.
No, what's going on with William Haney, man? The last time I saw William and you at Marley Sheen's life celebration.
Oh, wow. That was a while ago.
Yeah.
I haven't talked to Haney in months.
I wonder what's going on with him.
I don't know.
His books were really inspirational that his mom wrote.
I love that book.
Yeah. His flag, too. The flag is awesome. I still have those. I have those all over my room.
I actually have one of those books. I should probably raffle it off and give him some money.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
I bought one of those books from him at a Run New Jersey session that Marley was running, man. It was awesome.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was, William Haney was one of the vendors. He was selling his books.
That was over the summer.
That was a long time ago. Yeah, that might have been a summer session maybe, or might have been a Thanksgiving.
Man.
But I hope if he's listening, big shout out. He's a cannabis advocate, fist in the air at the front of the parade kind of guy.
Oh, yeah. Haney's the best.
Yep. So the senator sent me over the bills that he'd proposed previously. They didn't end up, it didn't go through, but right now what they're going to work on is amending the bill. So it was Senate Bill 708 and House Bill 32. I actually have those right now. One of them's 80 pages. The other one's pushing 200, I think. So I'm going to work on reading those. I'm going to learn those bills inside and out, and then I'm going to find out what can be changed in there, what could be modified to make things work, basically. And really what it comes down to, Lefty, is it's going to be about ending the stigma. We have to get into the minds of these people who are against it and find out why they're against it. What is it that is stopping them from accepting it? Like, what we have to end the fear. The campaign, has to be working toward ending the fear when it comes to cannabis.
Here we go. Jim Miller says, if opiate addiction is a reason to be a medical cannabis patient in New Jersey, shouldn't some be appropriated by the state to help stem the crisis? Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. From the
great point.
From the taxes from the legalization program from recreational cannabis.
Yeah, absolutely.
money toward. Now, let me ask you this. When we talk about money toward the opioid campaign, we're talking about part of those funds being appropriated to medical cannabis patients who are using cannabis as a way to get off of opioids.
Yeah, like me. That was me, 100%.
What are they doing for you right now? Are they doing anything?
Just cannabis. That's it.
Just allowing cannabis to be available.
That's it.
All right. Well,
I lost my workers' comp.
We need to make waves. We need it to be better than that.
Bro, I lost my workers' comp because of cannabis, because my workers' comp doctor did not want me on cannabis, and he tested me, and for 70 days, it was still in my system. So he's dropped me as a patient, and I lost my workers' comp because of that doctor.
Wow. When did that happen?
Oh, 6 years ago, 7 years ago.
Oh, okay. I know you've had that issue. And I've seen it. Not just you. There's people down here that's happening to as well. Their workers' comp claims have been jeopardized because of cannabis usage.
Yeah.
Yep. Hey, man, are you going to come down to some events?
Yes.
So we've got a ton of events coming up. And everybody can come to the events, too. That's what's cool. We have, actually, this Saturday is going to be a free food truck. So anybody that wants to come out can get a free meal. It's going to be a cool one, too. It's a really nice food truck, like a niche food truck. It's not going to be like last time when you walked up to the crab cakes place and almost had to pay them.
Dude, those are the best crab cakes I ever had in my life.
Well, good. I'm glad.
They really
glad
were.
to hear that. 710 too, Lefty. If you're looking for something to do on 710, are there any sessions going on up there right now?
Yeah, I think so. But is this a church event you're talking about?
No, this is an NCW event.
NCW. Oh, right on.
Yep. So NCW is right there where the church is, and that field, that tent, we use that for these events.
Okay.
Yep. So July 10th, it's going to be a really good big party. Everybody is welcome. You just have to be an MMCC patient to use medical cannabis on scene. But what's great about it is that there are all types of options. So, if people are smoking product that's less than 0.3% THCA, then, that's cool. That's like when people are smoking cigarettes, you have spaces to do that kind of stuff.
Oh, like a hemp cigarette.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Seth wants to know where. Well, this is down in Maryland at Nature's Care and Wellness.
Yes. So Nature's Care and Wellness is in Perryville, Maryland. The address 4925A West Pulaski Highway, and that's where the big church building is, the community center with the big field right there, huge field. And there's going to be a great time. There's going to be bands. There's going to be free food all day. There's going to be vendors out there. And there's really just going to be people having a good time. It's going to be a blast. Same thing with there's going to be a crab feast in September. The free patient appreciation food trucks. There's one this Saturday. It's Cooper's Chow Hound. That's what it is. The Chow Hound is a really cool food truck. And they're just going to be there, from, I think, probably in the afternoon, giving out free food, patient appreciation. We're doing more free community vendor events. So we're doing events where local patients who have setups, they have tables, they set up, we just have events where they can come out. It doesn't cost them anything. They can set up their local business table. They can advertise their local business. We have it set up. So, we have 15, 20 vendors there sometimes just coming out and showing people what they're all about. And that's community driven. That's not your big conglomerate organizations. These are entrepreneurs in the community, people that have small businesses, people that have been working on growing their businesses, people that are embedded in the community. And that's what we're all about, is building that. So the vendor events are great for that. And then the Leaf Lake Summer Session, that's going to be a great time, Lefty. That's on July 24th. And that's going to be like a safe access, really good time. That's a 21 plus event. Like that's not a bring your kids to this kind of event. MMCC patients, again, same thing. The safe access is available, but you just have to do it right. So we can't ever take any chances by doing things illegally, having things go the wrong way. Everything that we do is always on the up and up, and we're always in compliance with state regulations. With any regulations that are put forth by us, we make sure everything we're doing is in accordance with the Maryland Code of Regulations. And we do it right, man. We do it big and we do it right.
Sure do.
The MD Canamom events, too. There's bingo nights, puff and paint. And these events raise money for a local organization. And we try to take care of veterans, too. So, for example, the VFW, the local VFW, Cecil County Memorial VFW Post 6027, No one's doing more for veterans in the community. We want to support that. So the bingo event that we're hosting on 7/16 on July 16th, we're doing a can of bingo. And the funds raised from that, the proceeds are going to go to the VFW in Northeast. Because they're just doing such a great job, and they really are the ones that are giving back to the veterans in the community, taking care of veterans, homeless veterans, disabled veterans, and that's what it's all about, Lefty. You're a big supporter of the troops, man. I learned a lot of this from you as well. You already know about this, and the people out there need to continue to hear it, and we need to continue to take care of our veterans.
Yeah, especially the vets in wheelchairs that they can't get out. And, how far do these towns that are banning medicine, I say to them, how far do you want your vets to go in a wheelchair to get their medicine? You're making them jump through hoops for you. For what? You're stigmatizing God's medicine, but you sell Marinol in your drugstores. That's not stigmatized. Man-made Marinol, 100% THC. That's fine. That's family friendly. But God's medicine is stigmatized in some of these towns. It's mind-blowing
that's
to
sickening,
me.
Man.
Yeah,
that's not cool at all. I hate hearing about that. But speaking of wheelchairs, though, so the VFW that I just told you about, 6027, they actually have a collection outside of wheelchairs. There are walkers. There are apparatuses for seniors that need, special gripping devices when it comes to using the bathroom. There are assistive devices. There are canes. There are knee braces, things that people need that get hurt.
Good.
There are resources for that are
so
available
helpful.
at my VFW.
So helpful. Thank you.
Yep. No doubt. You got it, Lefty.
What's your website again, Tommy?
Oh, well, you can go to ncwmedical.com. N as in nature, C as in care, W as in wellness. Nature's Care and Wellness, ncwmedical.com. That's where you can see the whole menu. You can see everything that's on the board. You can see all the details when it comes to the delivery service, so free delivery service. Nature's Care and Wellness also has a variety of deals. So, for example, like if you bought a friend, then you could save 15% off your order. Daily discounts. So there are discounts for patients on hospice, veterans, seniors, minors, people on disability. There's point system. So you don't even realize it. Every time you spend, you collect points, and then you have NCW bucks. You use the points like cash. We reimburse people for the annual toll fee. So there's a toll that you have to pay to come from Harford County to Cecil County. You can pay $20 a year, one time a year, and then you can cross that without having to pay it every time. Well, NCW will actually reimburse that $20 because we don't want people to have to pay to come see us. And then on top of all that, we even reimburse for provider renewals in $25 increments. So when you go to see the doctor, you have to see them once a year. Most doctors for this charge $50 to $100, $22 for veterans, which is great. So once they get that, say you pay $100, then we will reimburse you in $25 increments. So we would take $25 off of 4 orders, basically, to reimburse.
ncwmedical.com.
That's it.
ncwmedical.com. Thank you, Tommy. You're the best. I will.
Thank you, Lefty. I want you to check out the menu, man. I want you to take a look at that when you get a chance and see what kind of fire is on deck. Not only when it comes to the flower, though, when it comes to the actual medical options, the different kinds of topicals, the tinctures that are out there, the oils, the edibles, like everything that goes into this is real medical solution, even when you look at the flower
I have
options,
never seen a menu that huge in my life. So I need to put time aside for that because literally I'm going to jump into the rabbit hole if I go on your menu and look at all the stuff. It's insane. You have 4 walls of menu in the dispensary. Like every wall has a menu and it's full, a full wall of menu. Like, how do you have all this wonderful stuff here? I want one of each. And you know what and you know what everything is. You know what every Tom, you're just amazing. So thank you.
Thank you, Lefty.
ncwmedical.com. Thank you, Tommy Lyons. We'll talk to you soon, brother.
Thank you, Lefty. I love you, man.
Love you, man. See ya.
Bye.
Wow. Good stuff. Let's see. Hold on. Do I have it? Let's see. Okay. I guess we're going to do it this way. Oh, maybe I get to see him. And he could see me, and we could see you. Oops, sorry. Okay, let's take Tommy down. Okay. Let's make this call. I hope this works. Oh, I can hear it. I can hear it. No luck on that one. Oh, hurtful. Hurtful. Okay. We'll try a different one. Hold on. Hold on. We have nothing but the best for you tonight. Nothing but the best. Wait till you hear. It's just going to keep getting better and better and better. You'll see. Watch this. Oh, except when my phones don't work. Oh, hurtful. Hurtful. Shoot. My phone's not working. Sometimes there it goes. Now it's working. I think. Let's see if she can hear me.
Hello?
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 Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh.
Can you hear me?
Good. Hi, Joanne.
Hi.
Hold on. I'm trying to find your picture up here. Okay. Are you done? Are you finished, or am I calling it a good time?
Yeah, I'm actually sitting in a drive-through.
Oh, right on. There we go. There's your picture.
My son wants some food.
Tacos? Is taco night?
Yeah, actually.
I know. I'm the same way. It is a taco night. It's Taco Thursday.
Yeah, every day tacos.
I could eat tacos every day. I just a different taco place, but yeah, totally.
Yeah. So do I sound okay? Sure.
You sound okay. Hold on. You're going through my board here, which is great. Okay. Oh, you have me on speakerphone, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, all right. That's fine.
If it sounds okay, off on my phone.
Not really. Not really. Can you take me off speaker, or are you hands free? Or are you trying to be hands free? I don't want to make you unsafe.
No, it's just that my phone was on the world's shortest charger.
Oh, it's much better. I can hear you now.
And I only have like 15% left on my battery.
I only need like 8%. Give me 8%. I'm good. Oh, man.
Yeah, how's it going?
Okay, it's going good. Besides getting assaulted this week and having a woman almost run me over. And what else?
Yeah, that was crazy.
The post office doesn't work. And Mrs. Fields has no wheelchair access. So take your pick where I'm at. I'm like...
Yeah, the guy mock dancing was really bad.
I like him. I'm gonna hug it out with him and smoke a joint with him. Watch. On his ramp. I'm gonna smoke a joint with him on his ramp that he gets.
Yeah.
Joanne.
Just one ramp was great.
I shouldn't have to yell at people. I don't want to yell and scream and go nanny poo poo.
Carlo's barbershop?
Now that was happy. I was happy. I busted their chops for years and they finally got a ramp. So good for them.
Yeah.
And the Chinese food people. That Chinese place, whatever I forget the name. Oh, Happy Good Eat? Happy Good Eat. No, Happy Good Company. No, Happy.
Nice.
I have to get their name right because they actually have a ramp, so I'm going to look it up. But it's Happy Company? No, Happy New Friend. I think it's Happy New Friend.
I like places named like that, though. It's welcoming.
And I am a new friend. You have a ramp, so we're friends.
I did get to listen to Tommy a little bit. Man, he's doing great work.
Oh, he's the best.
Yeah, and a lot going on. Like, I can't believe the South is more compassionate than New Jersey.
I think we're too corrupt here.
Yeah. Yeah, Virginia celebrated their legalization today with a seed giveaway.
So what does that mean? Are you gonna like go down there and start growing weed? And
Oh, hold on one second.
yeah, you are. I that's the answer I wanted. That's the answer I wanted. I can't talk right now. I'm ordering tacos. I can't speak right now. I'm ordering a taco. I'm at the drive-thru ordering a taco. Hold on.
Oh, I like a taco. Okay. 3 deluxe taco with cream cheese, sour cream, and
All right, what did you want?
I'm good.
What were you ordering?
I don't know. I was getting cream cheese. Nobody puts cream cheese on a taco. I meant sour cream. That might be a thing, though. Cream cheese on a taco? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can do like a dessert taco. Taco tacos.
No, I can't do dessert tacos. No. That's a cannoli. It's a cannoli. It's not a taco. Now I'm hungry.
Is that an Italian taco?
Now I'm starving. Oh, man. We got to talk about tacos and cannolis, really? Oh.
Well, yeah, I'm just kind of so Virginia. Yeah, I mean, is that a sign?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So what's happening in the state of New Jersey? What are we supposed to be doing right now? Are we doing the right thing? How do we support Jim Miller's efforts? Because I like what Jim's doing with his petition. I'm sharing it on Twitter, but my Twitter game has room for growth. And what else can we do?
Yeah.
Like how do we help?
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of Twitter either.
Yeah.
But yeah, just the information of contacting those key senators to get them to co-sponsor 3582. I think I hope that that's the direction that we're going to go. Scutari's office told me, they want to see what the CRC is going to do. And, get back in action in the fall. So hopefully we can get some co-sponsors in that time.
Is the CRC going to come out with regulations before October now?
I don't know.
Or do they extend everything? They extended life. Everything that they have to do, they just extended for the next 2 months. Like all the towns, all our everything. Just push it off.
Yeah, it's very New Jersey.
Push it all off. No regulations till October either. Sorry. Psych.
Yes, medical marijuana delayed. Delayed.
Oh man.
And you can't get no home grow here.
You can't get no weed here.
The Garden State, the driest state.
Unbelievable. It's so sad.
All of our cannabis comes from the West.
Yeah. All our cannabis comes from other countries.
Hopefully we'll have a lot of micro growers soon.
When? When are we going to see that?
I've New Jersey.
2022?
Well, I mean, the race is on, seriously.
Who is going to be the first recreational dispensary?
I'm going to say, I don't know.
Out of the ones we have now, out of everyone we have now, who do you think is going to be first to go recreational?
I mean, I'd like to think New Jersey, but...
Which dispensary?
Oh, well, I mean, they're already, like, growing for each other, so they're going to be growing for everybody else.
Oh, wait a minute. If they're sharing cannabis sales with each other, How can they sell like only medical to some towns? Like some towns are only going to have medical dispensaries. So if you're a dispensary in that town, you can't get weed from a recreational dispensary and sell it in a medical dispensary, right?
Yeah, I know that's
Or can you?
tough.
Or can you? I mean,
It's tough because I don't know if places are going to want to be medical only.
some will have to be. So, as for the town to accept them, they're going to have to be. So let's say you have a medical dispensary. You don't sell medical cannabis. You don't grow it, but other dispensaries give you product to sell. Is that a loophole? I wonder. Good old Jersey loophole. Wow.
Yeah, so I don't know. I just hope they make it easier for the people to get in on it. You know, the grants that were announced, and you know, some non-cannabis folk I speak to, they say the state's flush with cash now. Get the money to build the equity cannabis.
Get that money.
That's the crema.
So next week is the Coalition for Medical Marijuana's board meeting. Is that right? Tuesday?
Yeah, Tuesdays are the second Tuesday of the month is the regular meeting.
Is that Lawrenceville Library?
I think it's Zoom. I think Ken's still doing Zoom.
Oh, the one's. Oh, I'm going to join this one. I keep thinking I have to drive to Trenton.
Yeah, no, you know what? I don't know. We haven't talked about it, but I think that's
good.
what he's doing.
That's helpful.
Yeah.
I like that because a lot of towns are stopping these Zoom meetings, and you got disabled people that can't go to these meetings anymore. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. You did these meetings for healthy people for 14 months, and now you say you can't do it anymore. You did it.
Yeah.
Oh, we just don't do it.
I know that one lady. Telling you, in person only.
I said, what about disabled access? No, we don't have that. We don't do that anymore. I'm like, yeah, but can you?
Happen to, yeah. Did you happen to listen to that Sussex County meeting hearing?
Some of it about the cannabis, right?
Yeah, it was. Well, they covered a bunch of stuff, but a few people when they spoke about the home grow, the people that were there to speak for other stuff all spoke up for medical cannabis after.
Okay. Right on. Good.
And they were also, a few of them were also asking about the remote access. Obviously, the letter was read by somebody who didn't write it, but they couldn't be there, so.
Hold on.
Makes sense to keep it going.
Hold on 1 second. The show is yours. Ready, go.
Well, I was going to say, I just picked my dad up from the airport, and I'm getting ready to go to the airport in a few hours to claim my award, my activist award. I'm going to go to the joint opening in Miami.
Yeah, you're going to go this weekend?
Yeah.
Right on. Yeah. Sweet.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the first vacation I've had since I've had kids, I think.
Wow. Yeah, you deserve it. Good. Good for you. Go have
yeah,
fun.
and I haven't been to Florida, Miami since I was a little kid.
Nice. Nice. You're going to have a blast.
I hope so. I'm hoping to see some familiar faces too there.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of New Jersey people down there, so that's cool. Right on. Right on. We'll have fun.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, thanks, Joanne. Do you have anything that you want to promote or a website or anything?
Well, I mean, I got the post for the senators to contact.
Yeah, how do we contact that? What do we do for that?
I'd say the best way probably is the Friends of Coalition Facebook page.
Okay, it's in there.
You can join the group page, or you can go to our webpage.
Which is cmmnj.org, right? cmmnj.org, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Let Patients Grow. NJ is the Facebook group where I share everything.
Yes. Yeah, keep sharing with me. I want all these towns that are banning it. We have to go back.
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad. I keep tagging all you guys and everything, and I'm like, I hope they don't get mad at me.
No, tag me, but there's some towns I'm not going to go to if we're just going to thank them. No,
Yeah.
I'll thank if we have time, yeah, but we have a lot of towns to go to that are not thankful, we have to go, like, give them some awareness.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was talking to Chris, saying, like, some of the towns, they're doing it because the state is just, it takes so long to do something. But some towns, they still have the stigma.
Well, now
attached,
they have 2 more months. They have 2 more months to decide. It was extended, so hey, now there's no excuse for ignorance.
Yeah.
They'll come up with one, don't worry.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm hoping I make it till the fall here, but yeah, that's where it's at. Scutari said he would hear 3582 after the CRC comes out with their regs, and or in the fall when they come back. But yeah, we do need co-sponsors. And Bayonne, Cunningham is one of them. I don't know if you've called there yet, Lefty, but
No, I haven't called that. No, I'm going to make my calls tomorrow.
yeah, I know. Yeah, because this week they were doing all the budget stuff, so they were busy anyway. But even if you just talk to their office, and I sometimes wish I could just call every day and just say one fact of why it should be, and just keep doing it every day until they get it. But anyway,
Well, thanks.
It's going to take all of us.
It will. We'll get there. Thanks, Joanne. Thank you so
Thanks.
much.
Bye.
Bye. Talk to you soon. Good stuff there. And just when you thought we were done, we continue. With the greatest activists in New Jersey and the East Coast. Oh.
Hey, man.
Hey, you on the air?
Oh, no. Yeah, for a minute or two,
Where's your picture? I don't have a picture. Oh, there's your picture. Look at this handsome guy here. Look at this. There, look at that there with the hat on. There it is.
Well, I can't see it. I don't have my computer on, so.
There it is. What's up, my man? How are you?
I'm step by step, you know that.
Now, how you gonna top?
podcast,
How you gonna top what you just heard? You've been listening, and I just heard the most amazing stuff. My mind's been blown by everybody so far. How do you follow that, Jim? But I know how you're gonna follow it.
I don't know, man.
I know how
didn't know if it was I just tuned in at the right time, but
Dude.
I got to tell you, going from Chris to Joe, they both it sounded like they were speaking a script, but it was totally impromptu,
So good.
No, it's I can't do that.
So good. Well,
And even less so now,
Well, you have something going on. You have a huge petition we want signed. And how can we help you? And what is this thing what is this petition about? And how do we help?
Well, the petition is response to the 11th district legislators who wrote and sponsored both the Senate bills and the companion bill in the Assembly. Senate bill, let's see if I get this, 3582, and the Assembly bill was 5552, which would deal with both legalization for adult social use and for patients as well, tying them together. And they took out, well, I'd say took an ad. It was an op-ed, which is somewhat like a free ad, in Leafy. So, I had never experienced legislators somewhat reaching out for advice and help, or to the point where they left their office phone number and email, for anybody to call. And so that was my response, like, well, if you want some help, I'll see if I can do something about it. And first part was, Anne Zito, she's a force. She pretty much ran with that first one on LetPatientsGrowNewJersey.com. And I emailed her and I said, hey, I had an epiphany. We need to get this petition going now. And then I realized, no, it's me. I got to try to do it first and not be able to do it, then ask Joanne. And I don't know, somehow I slipped through and was able to do stuff. I'm not good at this. And what I liked was a good portion of what I wrote as to why we needed to do this was from the legislators themselves. It was simply copying and pasting part of their op-ed. And that the first petition was to get a bill written and in committee, singling out Scutari, I believe. And now it's already done. But they're not getting hearings because, we'll just say leadership isn't involved in this right now. And, petition can go on for a while. But the first petition was about medical cannabis. This is about being able to grow it as an adult, which is something so many people have so much to say about. And I wondered what it would take to get it to trip that trigger point where it feeds off of itself, where it gets out of your own sphere on Facebook to where it gets shared with people you don't know, who share it with people you'll never know. And just simply to get a good number, to get an informational hearing scheduled in committee, that's obviously the first step. And, the fact that there's resistance to it gets me to think that that's exactly what I need to do. There's no reason there couldn't be an informational hearing. I mean, do you hear what we're talking about here? We're talking about legislators, in effect, blocking informational hearings, which is information other legislators need to know what they think about home grow for social use as well as for medical use. And that is a very big issue right now. And to block information on it, you see where it doesn't add up. It's so, may I say, un-American. And I just wanted to see where it would go. So now I'm trying to get it shared as many times on Facebook. And like I already know, you're well aware, Jimmy don't tweet. And I have asked people, I mean, is that something you do on Twitter? Can you post something like this? But I am finding things out. And I don't know, just for shits and grins, I'm going to go out this weekend. I think Seth wants to do something as well like that. And I wanted to go to a post office in a targeted district and see if there's anybody using it on Saturday morning, which used to be the case. When you have to use actual postal services, sometimes people do it. And it's not like that would get a whole lot of signatures on a petition. But think like a legislator. Wouldn't it kind of get under your skin a little if there were people that were going to more than once go to post offices in your district to engage your constituents, your voters. And it's not so much what you get signed, because I can do better on that, just concentrating, on social media. But it's what other constituents see when they go in and out. Even if they don't stop over, if they realize that this is all about their legislator and pretty much needing to do something to help patients especially. So I don't know. I'm just kind of feeling things out. But like I said before, when Tommy was on, we do seem to think alike, that there is a connection between the two, to the point where, as the last patients bill that made improvements, Jake's Law, was tied to legalization in order to get it passed, and it didn't. What happened was the fact that it didn't work is it more or less delayed patient benefits for the time it took for people to become surprised that it didn't help get social use passed. So when legalization went to the referendum, when that was decided, of course, the patient's bill was freed up and it passed immediately. So, in effect, this bill could be the same effect, but at least it gets social use cannabis aficionados involved. It's not asking people to do something about sick and dying people. It's asking people to do something for themselves. Should be the easiest thing, right? You want home grow? Click. You really want it? Click share when you're done. And you know me, I'm finding out that that's not how it works either. But I need to do something, and I don't know really what else to do when legislators have the bill written and our friends in the legislature are holding it up. What do you do? So.
Well, Jim,
what
you used to do was push around Cheryl in her bed. That's what you used to do.
Yeah.
And that was shocking. It was actually shocking.
Yeah, I used to, there was nothing we wouldn't stop at.
I'm sure we can find, a wheelchair posse, like a wheelchair posse, Like Jeff wanted to chain himself up to the State House door. That's what Jeff wanted to do before he died, was chain himself to the State House.
Yeah, I remember that. And, he did so much without having to do that. I was really happy that, in a way, that he didn't, but if he was going to carry through, I was going to certainly be there with him, and, I'm going to be going to Curaleaf in Belmar probably this next week, and park in the closest spot on street parking to where people going in will see me, and a sign alerting them to the home grow petition to get it into a informational hearing. And I've communicated with Curaleaf and about home grow, and told them, that I would be doing this, and I didn't really want to get a knee-jerk reaction, so I'd let them know ahead of time. And we'll find out how it works this next week. But I'll give you a clue. I'm gonna go there and do it, and I have a constitutional right to do that. So I win. What I, meaning we, win is if I get really lucky, there'll be a knee-jerk reaction and the police will be called. And, I'm good at this part, giving them absolutely nothing in the way of fodder for, turning this to look the wrong way. And the funny part is they do that. And this is not where I'll get arrested for the fourth time. This is where I'll comply, but all it takes is a couple of pictures. And if they want to turn me against them when everybody else already seems to be, That'll be a real tactical error, and it will help get signatures. So, I win or I win. It's up to them. You know, that's some vintage Jim Miller. I got to tell you, so easy.
Yeah.
Full disclosure, I've had like 3 or 4 beers, so don't hold anything against me.
I had about 12.
In addition to some really good smoke, I didn't switch sides.
Switching sides on us. Let's see. Let me ask my bong how many bong hits I did. Hold on. It tells me. It actually tells me. It's pretty cool. Hold on.
Well, I gotta say though, it's getting interesting. And there's another possibility that I don't think anybody sees. There's also, Senator Singleton has a home grow all by itself bill, standalone bill. And it includes 6 plants, not the 10 that Gopal's bill does, while making it 6 for adults and 10 for patients. Now, here's what's going to happen on 3582, because we're all looking for co-sponsors and people to, get on board. They're going to hear, I have no problem with that for the patients, but I have concerns about doing that for social use. In some way, shape, or form, that's what they're going to hear. And therein lies the potential reply, well, I'm glad to hear that. I expect you'll be able to co-sponsor Senator Singleton's bill then, because that is just medical. Because that's what's going to happen. People that don't want it for patients, they'll blame it on, social use if they have concerns. And in the end, when the real point is New Jersey is an outlier where all other states either consider this or they are going to do it or they're already doing it. We're an outlier. And I don't see any other reason than money. It makes no sense otherwise now, which makes New Jersey everything people say it is. I've been reluctant to hop on board the, blaming everything on, big pharma and big kind of corporations and, money in the place. It is. It's certainly the tide that moves everything. But it's also a little easy to blame everything on that when, in fact, there are times when we could be doing more, as opposed to just, blaming the unlevel playing field, which it sure as hell is. But, what I've said for a long time, the playing field is not level. It's not fair. Never has been. But it's not a flat playing field. It undulates. And there are areas where we have an advantage on that field. One is a constitutional right to do what I'll be doing this week, and just things. And I'm not saying it has to culminate like when I picketed Congressman Frank Warren's house successfully. But that is what's at the end of the line. There's pretty much always something else to do. And I don't know. I think when the bandwagon got here for cannabis advocacy, and there's now a lot of people doing that, it just seems like nobody really goes a lot further than identifying problems sometimes. And if you identify problems, that's the easy part. The hard part is to try to even imagine or affect a solution or at least a suggestion. And I don't know. I'm growing weary of that. So Homegrow is my list. I swear I'm off Facebook. Homegrow gets good, and it won't be good enough, and we'll need more plants and blah blah blah. I'm done. You know that saying, the tireless advocate. Whoever actually asked an advocate, are you tired? I'm freaking exhausted. Shit.
Hey Jim, you can help me with wheelchair access now. I got a whole nother thing to do now with wheelchair access. I could use your help.
Yeah, well,
I'm moving on. I'm moving on myself.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I can't wait. Once Homegrow, What else do we need to do after home grow? I'm gone. I'm going to go do my.
There may be something else, but I'm hoping it comes in the form of something that needs to be done and somebody suggesting solid, viable things to do that I can say, I'm with you. You know, I'm not going to be the guy to come up with those and have people tell me why it's not going to work and end up by saying what we need to do is get 1,000 people together. Oh, yeah, right. Oh, geez.
Yeah, that's all.
Wow, I never thought of that. I never thought of that.
Wow, let's do that. Let's do it. Chin, let's do that.
You mean all you got to do is that? Or somebody says, yeah, let's smoke them out. It's sort of like, fun as that may be, I can't imagine. I see what you mean now. Let's do this. It's not going to be a result. So therefore, it's not only not a serious suggestion, it's like it's insulting.
I want to storm the State House. Let's storm it. Storm the State House and smoke it. Smoke it out.
Well, you know, I'm was considering, though I'm not. It's like I don't like that. I'm not going to be physically with my presence somewhere marking tomorrow, July 2nd, as the second anniversary of home delivery becoming legal, and still no home delivery. And
boo! That's right. That's right.
And a pandemic.
In a pandemic, we still don't have home delivery.
You know, well, like I posted, you know, when we got this 2 years ago, how fortuitous that it was that it came 9 months before a pandemic, because how could it possibly take any longer than that to get home delivery going? And then came the pandemic, and things got fast-tracked for so many things, but not home delivery. For patients in a pandemic. No, you got to go. You got to go out. And then when somebody finally comes and starts a gifting service where they deliver, the state offers cease and desist letters for doing something they can't get done. You know, am I right or am I right when I say patients come in last every time? They have. Every time. Everything else comes first. And then, no offense, I'm an adult. I want to be able to smoke legally as an adult. But when adult legalization for adults comes before and precludes doing anything with home cultivation for patients, I'm done, man. You know, you see, that's why I like that there is a bill that everybody can get behind, you know, and I think right now what's holding it back is my own ineptitude about knowing how to really get this done. So, but I'm learning as I go, and I did not know that apparently you can scan and print something that a phone can then scan itself, you know, like somebody, you'd be tabling somewhere, and it's like right there. And the picture, I don't know what size it is or whatever, but a phone can scan that, if I'm right, and then go right to the petition. So if I'm looking for signatures and somebody has a phone, or I learn how to do that and make sure they know how to do it.
Christian does that. It's a code, and you put that. You just take a picture of the code. Yeah. Christian's real good with that. I think he offered to help you too.
So I got like an Android phone. Does an Android do that? Can I go scan?
No, you have a flip phone, I think, right? Don't you have a flip phone?
No, I got an Android smartphone. I got my answer machine. Yeah.
Okay, you're good then. I think you're good. Yeah, just take a picture. All right, you're good.
Phone is smarter than me. Yeah.
Yeah, take a picture of it, and it'll pop up as a link, and you hit the link.
So, like, if I actually just use my photo function,
yes,
and I took a picture of it,
you don't even need to take a picture. You just hover.
He put that. Now, if I did that, if I printed it out, he put it up on the. Took a picture and posted it. So if I copied that picture, I could scan it and it would go to.
Yeah, but you have to pay money for those codes. You get a temporary one for like 30 days. You got to pay for it if you want to keep it. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna make sure he walks me through that, because that's one good thing that is happening with. I generally repost the petition with a different beginning, you know, a different way of looking at it, and I'm going to keep doing that. I mean, I can't annoy people. I don't have to look at it again if I don't want, but it always comes with a different picture. I'm trying to get my pulse on this. And when I get to doing something like that, though, being able to have somebody take their phone, take a picture, and it goes right to it, that's the missing link in my puzzle right there, because you don't want to have a hard copy petition backing up an online or e-petition. Is that what it's called?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So that solves that. I mean, I would add the hard copy to that and get a sum total, but basically you want to be able to talk to a legislator or a staff member and bring things up on your phone or your whatever you have with you, and to be able to just have access to that in a conversation and bring up whatever it is I need to. I'm going to try to get good at that. I think we do need to get this moving pretty much faster now, and the best case scenario says that this would happen during the lame duck session. I don't know why everybody likes to do something at the last minute. It's a 9-inning game. You don't have to wait for the 9th inning. But that's how the bill got passed in the first place and became law. And the game goes on through right up past November. And we got to make it an election issue wherever people can do that. At least get it into the consideration of people who want to say nice things and get votes come November.
Yeah.
But I'm not the go-to guy. I'd like to be helping other people do stuff too, So, I like that there was a cease and desist backlash, a petition against the cease and desist, for the gifting companies. That just really pissed me off. If they can't look the other way on that till they get their shit together and get deliveries, and that deliveries, I don't know that they're going to happen in the next year either. Can you imagine that?
No, they're not. They're waiting for an outside company to come in and do it.
Yeah, well, when they say they, would that be the dispensaries?
No, the dispensaries, they don't want to have they don't want to take the responsibility of that. They're going to do an outside vendor delivery. You'll see.
No, I agree. That's the way it's going to go.
It's ridiculous. And then
yeah, well, it's about, if a dispensary says, I'm sorry, we're too busy expanding, we don't have time for delivery, how should we take that? Because that's actually, I'm telling you, man, that is the case. I know that for a fact. But I can't say exactly yet because I want to be able to have a couple more things in line before I tell you how much of a fact that is. Mm-hmm.
It's all going to come out in the wash very soon. You'll see.
Yeah. It's funny. I emailed, I won't tell you yet exactly who, but I was having this conversation with, and I had to make sure I had my facts straight with some veiled suggestions, in effect, and, I like to be polite. So as I signed off in the email, as always, Jim Miller. When I call myself Jim Miller to you, you're not on my side, I'm Jim. So as I wrote, as always, Jim Miller, I realized that if somebody knew better, they should think, I hope this isn't the old Jim Miller, as always. Because I got a track record that says that's not a good thing when I say that.
Old Jim Miller.
Man. I've been arrested. I've been arrested 3 times on purpose where that is the purpose. You know what I mean?
A toast to the old Jim Miller. It's a toast to you.
Yeah.
And the new one. Here's another toast to the new Jim Miller.
Yeah.
I'm taking a bong hit. You can't see what I'm doing. I'm taking a hit off my rig right now.
No, I can't. I'm having a quick breath myself now and then, but I'm about to turn in. I didn't want to ignore your call.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Jim. I'm glad you took my call.
After all, it's a Thursday podcast, and you seem to do one every Thursday, whether you're at the State House or not. And I was there when you started Thursday podcast, So, you have my attention on Thursdays, whether you're at the State House or somewhere else.
I'm thinking this might be the last year at the State House, but you never know. Who knows? We'll play it by ear.
Yeah, I hope so. Special occasions like
sure.
committee hearings, and you find them going up. But yeah, it should be. Hey, man, I was so naive that I looked back when we got the bill passed into law and it was all signed. I left and I looked back at the State House where I walked across the state to get there decades before and been there ever since, and I yelled at this old building, "See you later, I'm not back here again, I'm gone." I've been back there twice as much since the bill got passed as before, maybe 3 times. That will stop, And it's going to be with home grow for patients,
I'm afraid I'll miss it though. That's what I'm afraid
of.
What do you mean? I'm gonna miss going to the State House.
Oh yeah, you know what? It's like regularly you won't miss it. You really won't. Not the regularity of it, but when something's going on and you see it coming and you can get a permit and you can just put it out there, I think you're going to like that.
I love that. Yeah, let's do it.
It'd be like come back for like an all-star appearance or an old-timers day appearance or whatever, because, long way from the days where patients had to walk across the street and become Trenton property rather than state property,
That's right.
And you remember that? Yeah. And there were times when you'd go over there and 12 people who were with the podcast watching and hanging out would go over there, and I'd be at the podcast all by myself, and everybody would be across the street smoking pot. It was like strange. You remember that? It's like the podcast stayed, but everybody had to go where,
It was great because you never stopped to take a breath. You just kept going. It was great.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Well, the one time Trenton police did stop, 2 patients were the first ones to walk over, and a couple of cards got flashed, and that was it. Never, nobody gets ID'd.
Man.
All right, listen, man. I'm calling tonight, but you had a good one tonight, man. That's one for the books. I learned some things.
Me too.
I came out a smarter advocate just for listening to Tommy and Chris. I don't know what you had on before, but that part I heard was good, man. So another time we will talk.
Thank you, Jim.
Okay, you're off the air now, Leslie.
You're off the air. You're off the air. You're out of here. I'm not going to hang up on anybody. Okay. Let's see if this works. This would be nice if this worked. Let's see. Okay. Open this up. Open this here. Oops, that's not Jim. No, it's not Jim anymore. All right. Open this up. Let's see if this works. I hope I can hear him. Oh, I can hear him.
Hey.
Hey, dude.
How you doing?
What's up, my man? Warren Bobrow. Can you hear me? I'm okay.
I can hear you, but I wasn't expecting to be on your TV, so I'm not going to show you where I am.
Oh, damn.
I'll show you my wall.
I thought you were okay. Are you naked right now? Because I can get
no,
naked.
But
okay.
I'm not visible right this moment.
Hold on. Let me turn my. I'll turn my camera off. Oh, my camera's actually not on. You. And my camera is. I'm on you, but my podcast is not seeing you. So
Okay,
we're good.
That's good for me.
We're good.
Otherwise, you're gonna look at my my mobile up there.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. I can hear you. I just wanted to be able to hear you anyway. What's going on, bro?
Good.
How are you?
Hey, I'm busy. I was out in California last week for 2 days, and probably spent more time up in the airplane than I did actually there, or so it seems. I pitched Planet 13, which is the largest dispensary in the United States, with my beverage, and they would like to sell it there. So I'm looking forward to seeing that happen.
And which beverage is this?
This is the beverage that I named after my gnome named Klaus. It's a live resin, THC, mixology, craft spirit. It's not craft. It's not spirits. It's a craft mocktail with live resin THC in it.
All right, you're making my mouth water.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's quite good. It's a spicy ginger beer syrup, limes from France, and rice wine vinegar with a nano emulsion live resin THC.
Why aren't you
it gets you stunned.
You got to come in studio here, bro. I need to try this. Oh my goodness, that sounds so good.
Unfortunately, we're not going to be trying it in New Jersey for any time for the foreseeable future. I mean, I don't know what's going on here in the state, but with edibles. But this is a drinkable, and it's just not happening.
Yeah, what's going on in New Jersey?
I don't know. You would know. You're in the know. I stay out of it. I stay out in California where it's not as stigmatized.
Yeah. It's better off. You got better. Well, you got good access out there. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean it's like here with the sushi bars here in New Jersey. There's literally a sushi bar at every corner. In California, there's a dispensary on every corner.
All right, now I'm hungry.
Hungry and thirsty, no doubt.
Warren, what are you doing to me? You know how to sell a drink, I tell you. These drinks. How did you come up with these drinks? Just experimenting on others, or
you know that I wrote the book Cannabis Cocktails, Mocktails, and Tonics.
Yes.
So with that said, I have 75 recipes in the book that are unique to my own special type of mixology, and I thought that at least one of them would be accepted in a pitch by my soon-to-be partners at that time that I was pitching, flavors around, and they liked it. They thought of it to fund me in this venture.
Nice. I remember. I remember you came to our podcast a few years ago, and you were mixing some great drinks for us. I have no idea what they were, but they were really good.
Yeah, they get you really, really stoned. That's the point.
Yeah.
They work, and those were a little stronger than what I'm going to be doing in California. I'm only allowed to use 10 milligrams. I think the ones I mixed for you were like a 50 or 100.
Oh.
So they're a little stronger.
Oh, so
we have to deal in legalities here.
Oh, so California law says 10. How do you get it to that point of 10? How do you?
Actually, for my product size, it's 10 milligrams. That's what the law says. But other individuals like my friend Matt McGinnis, he does 100 milligram in one of those what do they call them, 5-hour energy bottles.
Oh yeah,
that he does is called Uncle Arnie's, hence for Arnold. The drink isn't Arnold Palmer, it's iced tea and lemonade, but he puts 100 milligrams of THC in it.
Oh,
it's pretty potent.
Wow. Sounds like a party.
It is a party, especially if you're going to drink the whole thing, and it's even more of a party because it's all filled with corn syrup. So it's pretty sweet. So it does. It's like a Four Loko experience.
So do you actually cook with some of your drinks? Also, do you do that?
I could, but I don't really have much experience with that type of edible. like making cookies or cakes or things like that. I don't really dabble in that stuff.
I'd be interested.
I like drinks. I like drinks.
Because I like to use wine or beer when I cook. So maybe a Klaus. Was Klaus?
Klaus, yes.
I think I would like to try some Klaus in some risotto or something. Maybe.
I'm not quite sure what happens when you cook it.
Let's find
think
out.
if you go over 240 degrees, it burns off the THC. So you might as well be only, getting the aromas.
At the end, you put it in at the end, maybe.
Oh, at the end? Okay.
Maybe,
well,
yeah.
as I said, I don't really experiment with edibles.
Oh, I want to.
Drinkables is something I do.
Drinkables, yes. I'm not a drinker. I'm
Yeah,
a foodie.
definitely.
I'm a foodie and a smoky. But
Yeah, I know that.
But when you came over and gave me those drinks, that was the best. I was like, oh, I'm going to start drinking. But then I never found. I was chasing that dragon ever since you left, so I have to wait for you to come home to Jersey.
Yeah, I know, and I have been. I stopped drinking in July of 2018. Stopped drinking hard liquor, so it's been a challenge for me. I mean, people want me to make them punches and all sorts of fun THC infused alcoholic beverages, and I'm really hesitant to do it because having destroyed myself so many times on it, I don't need that feeling anymore. But for others, yeah, I mean, they would love me to do that type of work. I'm just being ultra careful right now with my licenses.
Oh, right. Okay. So you're not imbibing at all. You're just above.
I'm not drinking. I'm drinking beer and wine, but
okay.
I haven't had any hard liquor since July of 2018.
It's got to be tough when you're sitting there making these great drinks and you just want to taste it, and it's like, I understand. I understand how you gotta.
Yeah, it's more psychological than that because I just didn't like the way it was making me feel, and so I felt like I was doing the right thing at the time, and then it's been so long since I've had an alcoholic drink that I just don't miss it anymore. Well, I guess I do. I mean, on one of those hot days last week, I would have loved to have had a mint julep or a mojito, but I didn't. So it just gets easier and easier as time goes on.
Yeah, I never understood the whole thing about Scotch and all that peat, all the peat, and you want peat or you don't want peat.
Smoke. Yeah. Well, if you drink mezcal, you understand about that smoky flavor.
Yeah.
Because they use Scotch whiskey casks. But
okay.
I'd much more content smoking weed. I like to. It makes me happy. I haven't had a hangover in years, and I don't want one.
Yeah. Right on, man. So when they use cannabis extracts, they use cannabis presses, like all kinds of stuff you can mix with alcohol now. It's great.
Yeah, you can, but again, you have to be really careful with it because not everyone accepts it in their body in the same way. And I know from my own experience, I got myself pretty destroyed. There were some nights that I was totally on the couch because I gave myself a 250 milligram drink. And I wondered why I was feeling, like I had the spins and feeling so sick the next day, because not everyone can tolerate that crossfade. It's not for everyone. And if you do the technique that I teach, which is, 28 grams per 750 ml bottle, it's roughly 100 milligrams per drink. And that's too strong for most people, unless you like getting fucked up. Then it's all good.
Yeah, I prefer a more stoned than a more of a drunk.
Right, and but the crossfade is actually one of the best highs I've ever had. It just has to be done with finesse.
Like 2 beers, like a bunch of joints, a bunch of dabs, and maybe 2 beers, and I'm good. Maybe 3, and I'm good.
I like infusing the beer with THC and then just drinking it, like those
Yeah.
Belgian cherry flavored ales, the Creek Lambics.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
They infuse beautifully.
Yeah, I don't mind a couple of beers. I don't like to get drunk,
Yeah,
but a couple of beers here and there, sure.
yeah, like a Ballantines ale.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That sounds
you
good.
remember those? Yeah, aged in that white oak.
Are you kidding me? I remember Rheingold and Schlitz and Pabst. Come on.
Oh yeah, sure. Well, Pabst is They're making a Pabst seltzer with THC out in California.
Oh, wow.
It just sucks. It doesn't even taste like hops. It doesn't even taste like beer. It's just it's a branding exercise. All it says is Pabst on the label, and it's like
It's lipstick.
lemon lime seltzer with weed in it.
It's lipstick on a pig. Oh.
It's lipstick on a pig. That's right.
Oh no. Oh. Something fall? I don't know. Sorry. Must have knocked something.
No worries.
Oh man.
So where are you right now? You're in your abode in Bayonne, New Jersey.
No, I'm in Morris County.
In Morris County. Oh, okay.
I'm up by where you used to be.
Yeah. Well, I'm still up here.
I love Morristown. It's the best.
I'm in Morristown. Yeah.
I like to smoke weed.
Just when I'm not traveling, I'm here.
Yeah, I like to smoke weed on the green all the time, man.
Oh, really? I'd love to find you there someday and smoke you up.
Let's do it. Let's do it. I was there the other day smoking.
Well, you should let me know when you are, and I'll walk up.
All right. I'll text you next time.
Because that's like my nemesis place, because the police used to harass me when I was an impressionable 17-year-old trying to buy weed on the green.
Wait, you used to buy weed on the green?
Oh, yeah.
Wait.
From the black guys down the hollow.
I didn't know this.
Oh, yeah. Come on, I've lived here for almost 60 years.
Oh, that's great.
There's a lot you don't know.
They still sell weed there?
They did. This was back in like 1972.
It's hilarious. I'm gonna start asking.
I don't know if it was gerbil droppings or what, but it wasn't so good. But it got you high. It was probably gerbil droppings.
Well, that was the seeds. That was with pot seeds. That's,
Yeah, but they were soft and sticky.
I've gotten seeds like that. Don't worry.
The trouble is when you plan on planting them, the Environmental Protection Agency comes out and asks you what the hell you're doing there.
Oh man. Well, we have to continue this conversation because I had to call you at least to say hi, and because we haven't talked in forever, and I'm going to talk to you before we meet at the Green too. But
I would love to do that. You let me know.
I just think it's great. You're moving on from Forbes. Is that what I hear?
I was fired from Forbes.
Oh, I was being nice.
I wrote about this young guy, Just Bars.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
He opened up a bag of worms for me, and they fired my ass out of there.
Oh.
I write for Skunk Magazine now, and another one called Cannabis Cactus, and one up in Massachusetts called Different Leaf.
Oh, right on, man.
That's it. So I'm busy with that stuff. I don't need anything else.
I see that. Do you have a website or a way we can get your
drinkklaus.com, drinkklaus.com, or cocktailwhisperer.com.
Nice. drinkklaus.com. I love that one. That's great.
Yeah. That's the little gnome, liked by most.
I love it, bro. Oh man, Warren Bobrow, thank you so much, man. We'll talk again soon.
Bro. Peace,
brother. Oh, he's waving at me. You can't see. He's got his hands waving at me.
I'm in bed. That's there I am.
There you are. Who's that with you? Hey. No, I'm just kidding.
My cat.
Just kidding.
No one bad.
Oh man. All right, brother. Have a good night.
See ya. Peace.
See ya. He really was in bed. That's great. Cuddling with the kitties. I love kitties. All right. There we go. Part of the show. You all know where we're going to go. And we're going to take it slow. Yeah. Homegirl parties, you got that. You got that, brother. A ganja drink for after work happy hour. That's all right. Hey Jeff, it's America. It's America, man. Go for it, brother. Yeah. All right. I want to thank our friends at CMM and J. They've been so supportive over the years. Great group. And you just heard Jim and Joanne from CMMNJ, the Coalition for Medical Marijuana New Jersey. Magical Butter, United Food and Commercial Workers, Local 152, JacksonStorms.com, Orlo Glass, OpenMachine.com. Pure Puff Lifestyle Shop. Man, I'm stoned after this one. Wow. I smoked a whole blunt to the neck. To you old people out there, that means I smoked a blunt by myself. To the neck. I have a lot of pictures here of Cheryl, and I'm just going to grab one. Bob Barr. It's gone too far. This is Cheryl. And I think we should have a moment of silence before we even start this list. And I want you to all put some smoke in the air. And if you're watching live, definitely find some smoke and put it in the air. If you're watching later and this is not live, put some smoke in the air. Jim used to push Cheryl around in a bed all over New Jersey, getting arrested. Jim getting arrested. Creating awareness before anybody was even doing this. I was just watching from the sidelines, just watching this go on. I was like amazed. I didn't know how to take part, but I watched Jim take part. I watched him. It was amazing and inspired me to do more. This girl right here is a winner, man. She went out on her terms, and she fell with her face to the foe, just like the poem says. So get some smoke in the air. Sabina Rose. Diane. Marie. Joan. Randy. Patty. Bill. Chad. Jeremy, it's Joanne's husband. Grew some great weed. And they ruined his life over it. They took his life over some weed. Troy. Russ had liver cancer. Roger Barber, look at that smile. He fought for his daughter's right to use cannabis in school in New Jersey. Just like what Tommy was talking about in Maryland, although talking about this in New Jersey years ago. I'm going to pause right here and put a little smoke in the air for Roger. I'm just pausing randomly. I just like his smile. I remember dabbing him out for the first time, and sitting there on the couch, and he's like, "Hey, you ready?" I'm like, "What?" He's like, "We're gonna do a dab, right?" I'm like, "Well, yeah. whenever you're ready, man. He's like, well, yeah, let's go. I'm like, all right, let's go. You ready now? Like, yeah, let's go. And we did it. And he took it like a champ. And he's like, hey, let's do another. He was just all in. He was like, wow. Dabs didn't phase him. He was just like, yeah. And we had the best time that night, me and Raj. Just dabbing, having a good time. He was fun. He was great. He was cool. He was smart. Loving, compassionate. And took part. Look, he's at the State House with his family. He took part. It might have been what killed him, taking part. All the stress, all the fighting and being selfless. Jay or Leto, who you want to roll with? Who you want to roll with? Ella came to the State House, and she died from brain cancer, but she took part. She came to the State House, even as sick as she was. Hattie, Jake, talked a lot about Jake tonight. Jake Honig. A little smoke in the air for Jake. I think they were going to ban cannabis in Howell, and I think they tabled it now. I believe they tabled that ban. So we'll see what happens there. Little Jake was from Howell. So Howell would have wanted to make Jake jump through hoops to get his medicine. Armando died from tailbone cancer. Tailbone cancer. I never heard of that before. And he was my buddy, man. We used to smoke all the time. He was a really good guy. Lynn. Sean, Joyce, Brian, Thorne Peters, Terry, Terry was great. He was so young. Yeah, I'm putting smoke in the air for Terry. I'm just stopping randomly, but gonna put some smoke for Terry too. You can join me or not. These are our friends, and we're gonna give tribute to them. Terry died from complications of diabetes, and I'm not even sure he knew he had diabetes, and if he did, he certainly didn't have the resources to treat it properly. And this shouldn't be happening in America. Charlotte. Cher. Jay Bird, Michael, Marley, smoke in the air for Marley, smoke in the air for everybody. I'm just pausing. Pause for everybody here. Hashtag they shall grow. Hashtag Jeff's Law. And that's for Jeff Oakes, our friend here, who's holding a bud way too small for his condition. You can't see the bud, And you know why you can't see it? Because it's so small. Because you know what? He needed bigger buds. And he didn't get those bigger buds. He wasn't able to grow his own cannabis. He couldn't get the amounts he needed from the dispensary. He had to get the amounts he needed from the black market and from friends. Jeff should have been holding a half a pound of cola right there. That he grew in his backyard next to his tomatoes. And we're going to get there someday. Because Jeff is another one who fell with his face to the foe and he fought to the end. Inspired me. Everyone on this list inspires me. Me and Jeff had a friendship, and we had a lot of conversations that he was very helpful to me personally and very inspirational to me. He was a solid dude, and I miss him a lot. They went with songs to the battle. They were young, straight of limb, true of eye, steady and aglow. They were staunch to the end against odds uncounted. They fell with their faces to the foe. They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember.